Welcome back to another episode of Good Earners Reviewing Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finesse, and finances and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. For those that are new, get ready for the ride. For those that have been here, welcome back to our Mafia Melfi Mondays. I'm not alone, of course. Y'all know me, Maurice Hunt III. I'm here with my two capos. Big Rich Town, Spike Lizzle. How y'all fellas doing, man?
What do you know? What do you say?
Spike Lizzle?
Spike Lizzle, huh? Put it down like that, huh?
It's funny, man, because you coming up with all these nicknames. You got one of my boys calling me Big Rich Town.
Yo, friend?
Yeah, like that's not. He don't even listen to this podcast. It's just I forget where you saw it. Maybe on. I think when you changed it to on Another Week in the Books background.
Oh yeah.
Or something. It was something where it said featuring Big Rich Town, and
hey, man.
ever since then he hit me up like, "This is it. This is the moniker."
It's fire, bro. It's fire. Well,
I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I see no issues. It's like I can.
It's not something that. It's one of those nicknames. It's not. I'm not mad at it. It's one of those nicknames you can't call yourself. Other people got to call you that. I would look like a
somebody
dickhead.
else has to come up with that.
I would look like a dickhead if I was walking around introducing myself as Big Rich.
Somebody else has to come up with that.
Hey, bro, I definitely went around college,
AKA Big Rich Town.
H3. I was definitely doing that. Like
that's different. H3 is
but I still knew I looked crazy in my mind, but I didn't care. I was.
You came up with H3, right?
I came up with it.
Yeah, that's different. Big Rich Town.
I came up with it.
And you know what? You can do that in college.
Okay.
Like you can, like when you go to college, you can do that, especially if you away.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, according to Tell Me Lies, you can do anything you want to in college.
That's right. Hey, y'all want a show recommendation, Sopranos listeners? Go watch Tell Me Lies, man. You will be floored.
Man,
I got Rich on it, Mo. I'm trying to get Mo on it.
I'm still watching House of Lies right now, but yeah.
This is the disclaimer.
Mo might
you were not you were demographic. I'm talking to everybody out there, that all the listeners are good earners. You're not the demographic. And what I mean by that is when this creator made this show, she was not thinking about you when she made it. This is not the crowd, but it'll have you in, man. Hey, it's chaos. I can't stop watching.
That's almost what makes it as interesting, because I feel like damn, I ain't supposed to know this. This is below my age bracket. Here's how they get down out here now.
Wow.
Still got an ear to the street, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, we're back, man, nonetheless, man. It's always good to be joined with these brothers and talking about the show that y'all love, clearly, because y'all here. And hey, if somebody's a new listener that just happened to stumble across our season 6, you know, you just got in the mix, man, email us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com, man. I would be very interested to see the late bloomers. Where y'all at? You know what I'm saying? See who joined late in this thing, and because we're in real time, you ain't got a chance to go back, and you want to stay with us as we make it to Made in America. If you're a late bloomer, reach out to us, man. We got love for you. Speaking of reaching out,
that would be an interesting way to get, like, if you found this podcast and start watching it and following each week, when we get done, would they go back and start over again?
Are you talking about like that or new?
Yeah, what you think?
I think if they see and they like, oh, this podcast hasn't finished yet, and they're looking at the release date, they're like, oh, they haven't made it to the end yet. Then if you already seen it, The Sopranos, then yeah, I would probably jump in with them in real time. Like I'm gonna jump to the most recent to see what they own. But if it's new, I wouldn't. If I'm a new watcher of Sopranos, you don't just jump into.
No, if I let's say I'm rewatching it, and now that podcasts are out, you know, I'm trying to find a podcast to listen to, podcast Sopranos, and they come across this within their rewatch, and they found us this late. At the end of this, do they go back and listen, or do they and watch again right behind, or they just wait till next time? What do you think?
I think that they would
go ahead.
If they
just end it.
Nah, because if you're watching it, let's say I'm watching, I'm on college, I'm on episode 5, and then all of a sudden I find this podcast. Well, I'm gonna listen to the first 5 episodes. Then I'm gonna do, if it's me,
build back up.
I'm gonna watch the episode and listen to the pod. Watch the episode, listen to the pod, going like that. Yeah. And I think it lengthens out, or it stretches out the experience of rewatching the show. Because these episodes are longer, the ones that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just the one because if you just binge watching, and I've done this, man, you finish Sopranos in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
you know what I mean? If not shorter. But this one, it actually, you know, the pod, you'll ride with it the whole time.
And then I think the on-air narratives that we've created here, I think are just some of the greatest work we've done. Like just these on-air narratives. Like I know how we talked about, the mid box and all, like these funny things we've created in our within the Good Earner universe is stuff that I'm such a fan of with it. I'm like, bro, we created these funny storylines. So when our listeners, supporters of ours follow along, they're in on the joke and they feeling us. Even shout out to Jordan and shout out to Amanda, just chiming in on who could pull a black
Sure,
woman.
that's her name.
I'm 99%. Amanda, please. That's look. She gonna be like, that's not my name. But looks like them chiming in
That
on
reminded
that.
me. Hold on, my bad. That just reminded me of a battle rap back in the day when Murder Mook battled Sirius Jones. He tried to say his name. That's not, I don't know, man. My fault. That's not my name.
You took it back right there, bro. Don't get me started on the battle rap days. But yeah. So anyway, anyway, y'all just reach out, man. We just love hearing from y'all. So, speaking of hearing from y'all, we got a message from our guy Ike. He says, "Guys, I'm British with Nigerian heritage." we never get this right, y'all.
Your mama said you Nigerian. I'm gonna call you Nigerian.
I said,
shit, Ike.
Yeah, Ike. Yeah,
my fault. I know who Ike is. It made me think of this. This is a side note, Ike. If you're listening, if you can write in. I don't know if you watched this movie. It's called Hard Truths. I went to the theaters today to watch it because I'm doing some stuff for another podcast. But it's based out of London, Britain, British, where you from, nigga? It's based out of there. And want to know if you watched it, man. Get your thoughts on it the whole night, man. I want to throw that in there.
All right.
That line came from Coming to America, Ike, just in case you're not familiar. Go check it out. It's a really, really good movie.
Yeah. Really good. You want to come to America? All right, now you're welcome to America right now. Anyways,
we might come over there with Ike.
Boy, hey, hook us up, man. Get us plane tickets, man. Hook us up with some spots. Seriously. But he says, guys, I'm British with Nigerian heritage, hence the name. I think I tried once to give some background of my name. You did do that, Ike. Sorry, just a little short-term memory, but my name and the Igbo ethnic group in one of my emails. I remember that Igbo. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On to the gin. The subject line is gin part 2. He says, okay, so some gin brands. These are popular in England, and I think you're best looking in a supermarket, dedicated liquor store, or even Amazon for these. Tanqueray. He says this comes in tons of flavors, but the Sevilla one is top tier.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Spike Lou. Growing up, the niggas used the Tanqueray thing and put it on the back of their phones. That wasn't just me.
That wasn't just you.
Mo, you know about that?
I do not.
All right. I figured that's why I went to Spike first. I'm like, Spike will probably remember that.
I definitely remember that.
I got it. You talking about like the little
the little red Tanqueray, like they would take it off.
They got it on Maker's Mark, like that type of like the little stamp thing. Is that what's on there?
It looked like a stamp, but it's really like a
like the
I don't even know what to describe it. You had
I forgot. There's a term for it, but I got you. But he says Edinburgh gin. Any of their flavors are nice, and try rhubarb. He says, and any gin with strawberry and black pepper. Also, I'm watching Skeleton Crew ATM and would like to know if any of you are Star Wars heads. I got into it massively during the pandemic, and given how much I loved Dune, it made me appreciate Star Wars even more. It's basically a copy and paste job of Dune with a money-making machine behind it. Anyway, stay blessed, and do let me know if you try any of those gins. Update on England's weather. Got some hailstones, rain, and crazy wind today. This isn't poncho weather, LOL. it's stay your ass at home weather.
Hey, this nigga Mo
shout out to Ike, man.
We'll ponchos.
We appreciate you.
I told y'all we're wild.
Shout out Ike.
Yeah, shout out to Ike.
Shout out to you, Ike. Damn, what else was I about to say?
Star Wars and
for
Dune,
me with Star Wars.
Yeah, I do fuck with Star Wars. And Star Wars is or Dune is off of Star Wars, not the other way around. Just FYI, Star Wars OG. Yeah. Also, if you went to that, watch a show on Apple TV Plus called The Foundation. If you like Star Wars and Dune, watch The Foundation. That's another pretty good show in that same vein.
For me, Star Wars just I don't know. I just feel like I got started too late, so I didn't know where to start or where the movie started. Like you can watch it in chronological order. Then some people say watch it like
Mm-hmm.
they came out for real.
Mm-hmm.
I tried, but I couldn't get into it. I even tried that Skeleton Crew because we were going to review it over frames per second. I couldn't make it past the first episode.
Is it
The
is
world is difficult for me to understand. I like
it
Mandalorian. It was good.
okay? So you're cool with that genre though, that sci-fi genre.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Okay.
like Foundation, the show that Rich
Okay.
said. That's probably one of my favorite genres, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of
Now
my favorite
I didn't
genres.
pan that one on you. I didn't see that one
Yeah,
coming.
it started late, to be honest with you. Game of
Okay.
Thrones made me open. Game of Thrones world
Yeah.
building made me open to genres like it. Like I fuck with Dune. I
Mm-hmm.
watch both the Dune movies. I watch the series. I
I told you
like
the
the world
100,
that they
man. I
build.
keep saying you got to check that joint out, man. The 100.
The 100. Oh, that's about the people. I've tried to see. I've started that like 4 or 5 times because I like the premise of those.
Okay.
I like the premise of what the 100 people left on, but it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
that it was bad. I was just watching too much other stuff.
Yeah, I feel
You know,
you.
when you're watching a
It
lot of
fell
good
too
shit, you're
far
like, oh
down, and
yeah,
then before you know
yeah,
it, it's
just
on
like
your list, and it's like at the very back of the list.
yep, and then keep just falling down. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back and watch that. It's another one too that they said was like the Game of Thrones of outer space. It's on Amazon. I can't think of the
If you
name of
figured
it.
out, send it, shoot it in the text, bro. Because I
I'm
would
finna
definitely.
Google it now while you talking.
But yeah, shout out to you. I just started Star Trek, so just to see what's up, and I'm not mad at
You
it.
watching the TV shows or the
The
movies?
TV show, the
The old
1986
one?
one, the 1986, not the 66.
The
So
90s one is good.
yeah, that's the one. Like it started, I think, at 86, but it went
Oh, you
into the
watching
90s.
that one?
That one, yeah, with Picard,
Gotcha, gotcha.
the ball guy, whatever. So I'm very surprised at the graphics. This really looks good for it to be as old as it is. Our next
Real quick,
yeah.
it's called The Expanse. The
Oh, I've
Expanse,
seen that.
a political drama set in space, follows a cold war between Earth and Mars.
Mm,
I've seen a lot of people compare it to Game of Thrones, like in space.
okay, that may be something worth watching. Our next comment, it comes from YouTube from our last episode of 6B, episode 14, stage 5, from my man Kiori. He says, "I'm so glad Rich and Spike pointed out that was Shooter McGavin as Chris's new sponsor, because I also could have sworn I knew that guy somewhere. He was one of my favorite villains ever. Side note, now, y'all gonna have to please explain to me, because this is the part I pre-read this.
Oh shit!
Mo still on his Blue Lives Matter tip for defending Officer Rick Ross on his blatantly bad bars. What are we talking about? Please, I refreshing my memory. I don't know.
You must. Did you say Rick Ross line recently?
I mean, in stage 5, I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember. I can't answer
You,
that.
yeah, you gotta hit me. You gotta put the quote. You gotta put the quotation back, and I quote in there, so I can do that, man. You always try to do that, bruh. Like it ain't just you or somebody else that was doing it on Spotify. I'm like, y'all, bruh.
I don't
Like,
remember.
I don't remember, but y'all take your bias out. Like, come on, bro. Like,
He said bias.
take your bias out. Like, we know what it really is.
They bias against you.
No, not me. No, not me. It's like
gotcha.
we just lumping them again. I'm not a police supporter, so that's not what this is. I'm just saying that some stuff is just logical. Now, I don't know what bars you refer to, but please hit us with the quotation. Come back with that, Kiori. But shout out to you, dog.
Did y'all notice the other? I know Rich probably know. There was a guest spot in this one too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know
Looking
Rich.
forward to
I knew
talking
you.
about it.
Let me hold on.
Yeah.
I it'll come back to me. I think it was it.
I'll bring it up when we get there.
Okay. Our guy Chris Malone hit us on IG. He says, "Mo, I got a couple of classic Italian gin recipes for you guys to try out on a 60-degree day. First is the
That's a
Negroni.
memorable day right there. That ain't a 40-degree day.
Look, he's very specific.
Day. It was 60 today. I went to go play golf and everything. It was 60 today. Like, that's a memorable
70,
day.
I had the shorts on. You know what I mean? That's a little warmer day for us too. I'm like, let's go. But he says, first is the Negroni. And then he hits in parentheses. Imagine sitting in that club car sipping a Negroni. Obviously, the Bobby Bacala line. That's ironic. He said equal parts gin, Campari, and Vermouth. Or Vermouth.
Yeah.
Okay, Vermouth. And for the ladies, a Negroni, I don't even know how to say this word, Bagliotto. Oh, he's put it here, pronounced Spalieto. That ain't even spelled nothing like it. Spalieto. Same recipe, but replace the gin with Prosecco. And as far as gin goes, I always go for Hendrix.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard Hendrix was a good brand. I have heard that. Coming in with
Man,
like a black bottle.
yeah,
Right?
yep. Yeah, I think so. You know what? They damn near make it like when we link up,
We got to
we
have
might
a
we might
gin
have to
toast.
like get a little like, hey, all right, y'all, this is for y'all, since because they really going hard for the for the
No,
gins.
I definitely want to
We can
use
do
one
that.
since we
We can
talking
do
about it.
that.
Yeah, that'd be all right. And then one more from Chris Falone. All right, so he hit us with stage 5. You remember the symbols that were hanging in the
Yep.
Cleaver movie?
Yeah.
So he broke this down a little bit. He said, so got these fucking things all over the house. I didn't want to drop it in. Well, y'all know the symbol, the little ghost looking thing, kind of. But he
Yeah. We
says,
know what you're talking about.
okay, so he says in Italian culture, you can get the mal occhio, or it's known as evil eye, if people, especially friends and family, are jealous of you. These guys are warlocks that are supposed to protect you from the evil eye. A lot of Italians have them hanging from the rearview mirror. If you're ever in New York or New Jersey, you'll see them all over the place. But these are for the Italians, not the Wonder Bread wops.
It's so funny,
I love
right?
it. I love the callback, man. The wonder because we know our version of that. So
Oh,
and
jeez,
then he just
Malone.
yeah, then he just said like he went further, just like Italian people, like a very superstitious. I said, oh, that's what we got in common right there. We're black people.
Now that makes sense that it was hanging that in, and then all the stuff that people put together from the movie. Like
Yeah.
if you know your history and you know that thing as Chris Malone does, like people sitting in that theater probably noticed that and they're like, oh, that's where Rosalie get that from because she see that little thing hanging there probably. That's good. That's
Mm.
good information right there, Chris
That
Malone.
really is. I'm like, because it never
Slick.
really. I obviously didn't make the connection, but yeah, that was good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I
Nah, it's
told you
real
he's
good.
our Italian brother. He's the unsaid fourth member of this pod of ours. You know what I mean? So
No doubt.
hey, thank y'all for writing in. Y'all want to reach out? Of course, we're on YouTube as well as all your podcast apps, Instagram, GoodEarnerPod_Sopranos, or you can email us GoodEarnerPod@gmail.com. Do not miss us in real time. This is your opportunity to be able to connect with us and hear our responses on air after this when our episodes are spread out, or maybe even Patreon full time. Who knows? You may not get the same reply time, so this is your time. Don't miss out. GoodEarnerPod@gmail.com. Spike Lou, what episode we reviewing today?
Mo, this is episode 15 of season 6, entitled Remember When. Guys, Tony and Paulie have a problem and they need to head south until the coast clears. Junior, he makes a new friend who teaches him some new tricks, and he's still waiting on an apology. I want to know, Rich Mo, which one of y'all going to tell him? On the ride down
We'll work on that later.
On the ride down south, Tony questions how a joke may have gotten back to Johnny Sack. And remember when's the lowest form of conversation. This is season 6, episode 15, entitled Remember When.
And I'll say this again for the listeners that wasn't there back when it was, Spike Lou, me and Spike Lou, that was one of the names that was in the pot. We almost named this podcast. That was like probably number 2 or 3. So I always say that.
That
Remember
was 2.
when?
That was real close.
I think it was real close. It was like number 2, the lowest form conversation. So we were definitely gonna do that. It really would have worked because we definitely have the lowest form of conversations on this podcast sometimes. So it's the show about nothing, but it's about everything. So
Yeah, that
without
would have been a good one.
it really would have. I
Good
didn't, but
Earnest is
we
great, though.
didn't know Rich was coming, and we didn't know that we were gonna. It was gonna take the turn it did. It establishes identity later, and it's like now you look back like, oh, Nick, that would be.
Yeah.
But we open up. Tony wakes up and he washes his face. Just we see a lot of these shots. We want to see a few of these shots of Tony laying in the bed and camera panning in. He looks out the window and he sees Paulie. And he kind of has a little bit of a smirk. What do y'all think that smirk was for? Because there's this teetering.
That's my guy, man.
Okay.
That's it. Like that, I think, just small, brilliant stuff that they do, showing at the beginning of this episode why everything else meant so much throughout the episode. That little small smirk right there. He didn't have to say nothing. They didn't have to give us no context. It was just that. And what we know about this character and Tony character, and of course James Gandolfini being an amazing actor,
Yeah.
like that sets up the whole episode. And it was something so small, but it meant so much because you can see how frustrating it was for him throughout the episode with
Hmm.
other things. But even how the episode ends, it's just like that smirk really defines the whole thing. Like I fuck with this dude. This is my guy.
You going
Yeah,
crazy right now.
and it's to Spike's point, it really does set up the episode. This whole episode is filled with remember wins. And
Hmm.
the one thing about it is you can still have relationships with people and it still be remember win moments, right? So there might be people you've known forever, and when you get together, there's a lot of remember this, remember that, right? Remember when.
Yeah.
And I know it's the lowest form of conversation, but the reason why is because you were really reminiscing on the days when you were all together.
Hmm.
You're still thinking about those days. You'll never get that time back, right? And I think that's what Tony was looking out the window, like Paulie pulling up to the crib. Like there used to be a time when Paulie would always pull up to the crib, or I would
Hmm.
always pull up, or Paulie was always around.
Hmm.
Now I got a family. Now I got this. I got that. Like that doesn't happen as often. So
Hmm.
that goes to what Spike was just saying. Like, oh, that's my guy. Like I remember when this was a normal thing. So sometimes it's normal to reminisce on these certain things. Like I said, you got a group of friends, you've been tight forever. You might see each other once a year, twice a year, and you'll spend time going back because what you're doing is damn, those days we'll never have those again. The relationship
Facts.
here, but we have a greater chance of enjoying the moments that we had versus making new memories that we're gonna be looking back on in
Facts.
20 more years.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of that going on this episode, and I love how they tie it all together.
Yeah. Y'all bodying this. Like y'all just came right out the gate, like
I,
pie on
I,
mine, you know what I mean?
I do got a question for you though before you start because this is something. Mo, did you send this?
What?
Nah, maybe we should wait until the finale to talk about it. The
What?
opening of this episode, like Tony waking up.
Oh, that's why I was alluding to as far as the camera pan, but this is not that though. This is
Yeah,
not the
but
episode, but that's why I said to keep doing it, but it's a different one later. Okay,
okay,
what?
got you. We'll
Yeah,
we'll,
we'll,
we'll
yeah,
talk
we'll
about
get.
it in the finale. It doesn't even have to be discussed
Okay.
now.
What is this? Y'all referring to a video?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
said.
think most send it to the
Oh, that
chat.
thing.
Yeah, that
Okay,
that
I
that,
go
that
back.
was
I
really
ain't
good
click
too,
it.
for the record though. Like that was
Yeah, I'm
like,
gonna check it out.
yeah, check it out, please do. It's gonna be like, oh man, that's gonna change your whole like. Okay, maybe I'm gonna look at it from this way when we get to Made in America. But, yeah, Carm says she's meeting with the realtor, and you can still tell Paulie doesn't like Carmela. You know, we got to remember we're in the same season where they had to drop the big bag, and it was him and Vito. Vito's no longer with us. Like it's there's so much in this same season. Like Vito, it was him and Vito arguing in the bathroom. He's like, man, you need a cookie or a donut or something, bro. And he's not around now. You know, so it's like it's funny that kind of memory of, you know, which makes it funny later about the espresso machine or whatever. But yeah, but they go outside and they're having a conversation like, hey, look, they're digging up a body over here, Willie overalls and stuff like that, and it pretty much kind of the first few scenes kind of move through pretty quickly, because we get Paulie and Tony and they go to the site and we find out this is where Tony made his bones, whacking a bookie, Willie overalls, and just kind of talk about it briefly, and then they start packing up. So what do y'all think about this whole scene? Carmela and Tony packing up. Shout out to Carm. That Mandarin color. That's she's on it. You know what I mean? What did y'all think about that? Tony getting his wife packing his stuff versus Paulie packing his own stuff, and obviously the same pairs of shoes. And there's so many different little nods and notes about their character or whatever. So what do y'all think?
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff as far as just small things. One, we know this is Tony's first hit, or where they're going back to with the bookie. Larry Barisi is the one that's allegedly is talking
Mm-hmm.
and giving up names. So that was another thing they mentioned. The best thing to me about this scene that you mentioned was Carmela, and once again, and at the end, just that feeling of this is what our life looks like at this point. Like I never would have imagined that at 47 you'd have to run to Miami on a whim because of X, Y, and Z. Like we're supposed to be insulated from that. We're supposed to be far away from all of that. And you kind of realize that, man, I never got the chance. That the reason she feels like that is because most people at 47, they were away from that. Once again, I'm in at the end. If this was the golden days, if this was the old days, I could have cashed in and been kicking my feet up, but I can't. So
That's a good point. Yeah, that I think that was the most interesting thing in these two scenes for me as well. what Rich was talking about. Like that's the theme throughout the episode. What Carmela says, like, we still doing this, bro. Like I gotta take. I think even that sentence rolled with Tony throughout the car ride and even the dinner conversations. Like I think he heard Carmela saying that in his head, like, bro, you like what are we doing? Like it's like you asking your homeboys just trying to go to the club. Like, man, you trying to hit the club? Like, bro, like, no, I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to go to the club with
Right.
you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Never.
So yeah, like, or even if you find yourself there by some kind of weird mistake, and you in there, you looking around like, damn, this is where I'm at. Like, nah, I can't do this. So I think that was a cool little theme, and Carmela set the tone with it in this scene.
Yeah.
And also, Paulie packing this shit individually too, as you said, bro. Like, and
Yeah.
having the same, like the OCDness
Yeah.
of having all the same shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very subtly, what it does is prepare us for who Paulie is on this road trip and why it's so irritating to Tony.
Yeah.
Like all of it, like it's very subtle, like just having the same pair of shoes and shit, like you said.
Yeah, but you know, it shows low key a certain kind of discipline. You know what I mean? It's
That's
just,
what makes him great.
Yeah, that's what makes him great. Which that's why Tony have a different sentiment at the very end of the episode, and it's also a callback to Paulie's bathroom statement about shoestrings, laces dragging in the bathroom, how nasty it is, and you don't want to see the woman's bathroom. That whole callback. It's just again like y'all. I mean, of course, we love Carmela as far as what she brings to the, Edie Falco, what she brings to the show. But it's like, and this is a callback to season 1. Remember when they would like the feds were coming to their house and they were getting moving stuff around. Big P was moving stuff around, and they had to do it then. And that was, I guess 6 years ago. And now we're here again, and now he's got to. But it's like, Carm, like you married a gangster. Like, do you there? I know there's a wire phrase for this, like some kind of thing. Like you think that there's going to be
just
like
a
Gangster, I suppose.
Yeah, just a gangster, I suppose. Like that's that's who you're married to. It's like, why do you think there's like some like 401k plan and there's a way we're gonna retire in this thing and we're gonna like, no, bro, like they're digging up a body that his first kill. Like, bro, this ain't never over. Like you're stuck in this thing. Like it just bothers me. Like we're still doing like, bro, I'm not whacking nobody at this very moment. You know what I mean? Like, is you still like I don't know.
But
She
I
just
think it speaks to that's a really good point. Like I agree with you on a certain level, but also it speaks to the ignorance of Carmela and what we always kind of have criticized her about throughout the series. It's like you're oblivious to who you're married to, and like the black psychiatrist told her.
I
Like,
think
bro,
she's
like what?
selective though.
But that can be. I'm not disagreeing with that either. I'm just saying she's completely she's living in this fantasy world as to where it's going to be different for her and Tony because she thinks that she's smart or he's smart. So it's the same thing that drug dealers go through. Like everybody, there's the saying, oh man, end up dead in jail. That's the saying for selling drugs. But so many niggas try it because everybody thinks they're smarter than the other nigga that tried it. And this is, I think, what Carmela's going through right now. She thinks Tony is smarter than the other people that tried it. She thinks she's smarter than the other people that tried it. So she's confused to the point of, are we doing it the same way? Like this is the game. The book is wrote. Like you ain't changing the writing. So
yeah, it's like you literally like leaned on him to get the guy to open up the inspection for the spec house. You know how he like it's just you know what it is. It's like maybe when we do a Carmela analysis, maybe we can investigate and get to the bottom of, because it's this weird selective thing. It's like she knows but she doesn't know. I see what I did there. All right. But anyway, I'll leave it alone. I can harp on that forever. Tony says his tomatoes are just starting to come in. I feel like, I don't know if there's a deeper meaning, but I feel like it's a little bit of a callback to when Chris and Aid had dinner with them. And he says, when you're married, you'll understand the importance of fresh produce. So I thought that was like, it was just some like slick, like they're doing a lot of callbacks on this episode. And that's even a remember when in its own way. So
yeah, a lot of these episodes are connected now.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when you think of something as simple as Tony going off about getting his own newspaper, and Paulie been the one bringing it up this very next episode. Yep. This episode, Tony asked Hesh for bridge loan, and the next episode,
right, exactly.
So a lot of them are tying up. Once again, This is the end, man. Let's make this. I want everybody. Spike talks about this all the time. The timeline. David Chase, I think he wanted no misunderstanding about what's going on. All this shit is happening right now.
Right now.
Like, this is it. These are the final days, final weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this ain't no time gap, no time jump, none of that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving the tight knit storytelling. I think that's all I got. Yeah, okay. So we go Uncle Junior, Uncle Patsy, and the other geezer. They're talking with, Junior, or I'm gonna call him Corrado.
The other geezer is crazy.
I mean,
Yeah, wow.
Jeez, Pete's, man.
Hold on.
Hey, I want to
Disrespect.
become a geezer. That's all. I'm hating. Nah, but I'm gonna call him Corrado for the sake of this episode because I think there was an intentionality in how they wrote it, where he was always addressed as Corrado in this specifically. Exactly. We're gonna talk about all the remember wins. So they think Corrado is getting better because he isn't repeating himself as much. But then they notice quickly the decline when he says he's waiting on an apology from Tony. And then they talk about getting him out with an outside dentist appointment, and his mind goes to enchiladas. Shout out to Spike Lee for the enchiladas on the VHS. That's our old remember when. Anything I want to add to this scene? It's good seeing Uncle Pat, whatever. But
just return Uncle Junior for real.
There's a lot in this scene in the sense of I don't think that they thought that he was slipping when he said it about Tony. I think that like Junior legit feel like he wrong. Like, I know Tony didn't tell the police, but he still ain't said nothing to get him out. And Junior looking at it like it was a weapon that malfunctioned. So by the rules of this thing of ours, like you don't go to the police. If I shot you, then you come kill me. I think that's how he's looking at it. He's not looking at it from the sense of, oh, I'm crazy. But again, that's how great this is written because I may not be right. We shown the old timers and all that shit that's going on with him. So he may be in a situation too where you feel like Tony did something to him with the shot. But I think he more so speaking of a mafia code. And I also think that from this scene, Carmela said, "Is this what we're doing at this age?" And you got these dudes still kicking up the Junior, still figuring out plans. Like this shit does not end.
No.
Like once you in it, you in it. Like him giving them the envelope was one of the most like just thought-provoking things in this scene. Because like just to what Carmela said, like I said, everything is connected now. This is directly off of what she said. Like, yes, it's going to be like this forever.
And their show
great pool, man.
I didn't even catch that transitional. And it's the thing where they're constantly showcasing us like these are your options. Paulie, you can end up like Paulie. You can end up like Junior. You can end up like Johnny Sack. You can end up, you're starting to really
dead.
Yeah, you end up in prison and dead. You know what I mean? So, get sick, so they're showcasing us all of the options, obviously the end concept. We're like, there's and I think that's starting to bother Tony, and we're gonna get to a particular scene and expression that I think really highlights this is where he is. And I feel it too. Just watching it and I vibe. But go ahead. I know you want to say something, Rick.
No, I was gonna say that's 1,000% bothers Tony. Tony can't accept his own demise. You know what I mean? Like he feels like he deserves everything that everyone else got. And I think he feels like he's bigger than life. So the idea of him not even being able to be around to enjoy all of this stuff or maybe being in jail or anything else, I don't think he has a good time accepting it. Where some people are just like, cool, I don't even think about, death is going to happen. Well, yeah. It is what it is. When it comes, it comes. And there's other people like, nah, man, I still got so much to do.
He said that in the Melfi session. Remember he said that? Like, he's like, well, why do I gotta care about it then? And she was like, that's the mystery. Remember? Like,
yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. So, that's a lot to do with it too.
Good point, Rich, man. That's good. Hey, keeping it a bean. Hopefully Spike will be back. Bro, I don't know if you feel this way, but bro, I be feeling the remember when like vibe where you really do. It's hard not to sometimes to be like, man, the best days are behind.
Well,
I'm not that you should look at it because that's not a hopeful viewpoint, but sometimes just in real time, I'm talking about like a real life meta. It's like
yeah,
sometimes it
absolutely.
feels like it's the better days are on this side, and so now it's like just like
It's
Tony and Watt doing this is like make the best of it, but
yeah, we gonna send you a copy of the Uncle Soda's Ferrari. Help out with it.
Yeah, you got to
But
listen
not
to that.
okay.
What I
but
would
nah,
say to that
serious.
too, I was just gonna say what I would say to that is because we're familiar with the past and we don't know what's gonna happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that it feels like that to what you're saying, because you're right. That's not the wrong thing to say. Like Rich said, you get with your homies, you want to talk about the old shit, but you also don't know what's about to happen either.
Yeah.
So like you don't know what from everything that you're doing and what you planted. That's the reason why you can't really definitively say that the best days are behind. Now, do you have less time left? Absolutely. Like it's you know what
There's
I'm
that.
saying. You like I had that realization that I'm closer to 50 than I am 30, and that's wild to me in my head.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's the reality of it. But I still think like that there are great days to come too.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not. I'm just. It's. I
But yeah, I
guess
know
it's.
what you mean. You
Yeah, I
mean
guess
in the
it's
sense of the Sopranos world,
well,
like
no,
the
well, yeah,
best
like
days of what they do.
kind of like in the Sopranos, like in that
Yeah.
vibe of it, it really hits home. But then I guess more so it's like you don't know what's coming next, just like back in the '90s, 2000s, '80s. But it's like what's coming next, not knowing is so much more extreme, and
That's
that's what
scary.
it's like. It keeps being more extreme, and that's what adds to it a little
Yeah, the
bit. Like God
stakes are
damn,
higher.
yeah,
The
it
stakes
just
are
keep.
higher each day.
So yeah,
I
so
got more thoughts, but as I'm thinking about it in real time, it's probably more of another week in the
it
books
is,
conversation.
it is. I'm my bad,
Because
y'all.
just having a birthday and stuff like I came to a realization of something, but
You
I'll
gonna talk
save it for
about it?
tomorrow. I'll
Cool.
save it for tomorrow. Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
more of that
that'll be
versus
good for
this.
tomorrow because I got something for that too.
Okay,
But
cool, cool.
it does go with this whole remember when theme and what you just
Mm-hmm.
said, Mo. But we can keep it moving.
All right, but yeah, and then Junior with the memory thing, he said, "Have you ever thought about that I wasn't acting alone?" So in his mind, he's
Oh
still.
yeah,
It's like when people get, well, I guess this in this sense where, people get put in like a psych ward or something like because there's really a disassociation for what they did. Like they really, it doesn't register that it happened because they wasn't present mentally. So it's like I think Junior just never resonates for him that he actually did it. And if they keep saying he did it, then he's like it's got to be another reason. Obviously with everything got going on, uh, but yeah, we go to the next scene, and pretty much Corrado sets up the poker game with one of the nurses that he gave his watch to, and is helping him out. And finally, we meet a nigga.
Don't count my money, nigga.
Hey, listen, in the running for the best quote. Don't count my money, nigga.
That's Saigon's cousin on Entourage.
Oh man,
damn, it sure is.
yo, didn't he have braids in that the other episode with this dude? When did he have braids?
Not an Entourage, he didn't.
No, not an Entourage in here. Because remember, I thought it was somewhere.
This is only one he's on. You think about a different dude.
Oh, different dude.
We don't all look alike, Mike Mo.
My bad. I thought it was the Swahili thing.
How is this portrayal of David Chase's black character? Where does this rank?
Yeah. Oh, this is between him and the Starbucks dude. Like the dude at Starbucks, but this is probably number one.
Hey, bring him back for the profile pic, man.
You gonna bring him back to Starbucks dude?
Bring him back.
Hey, I thought about putting this nigga on there with that smile he do.
When he took the money from
yeah, he looked at him and smiled with that like menacing smile, like bro. Listen, I said,
that's that Spike. That's that Steven smile.
Facts. I got him. I fucking got him.
Like that smile, bro. I said, oh, you a menace, bro. But yeah, there's so much I want to say about him. But y'all know how that smile is crazy. I'm looking at it now. Finally, it just felt like, and then the dude, he didn't get a lot of time, but Duda that happened to be on here for that small part was like, I got lips of a statue, nigga. When Chris hired him to go whack somebody, and then they end up, not doing it, but.
Duda, yeah. Shout out to Duda, man.
But But yeah, this dude, I felt it felt authentic. I don't know if they gave him some liberties or who was in. I don't know who was involved in writing, but it felt accurate finally. Like it's just like I told, like how many times they, and I wasn't mad at Maurice for the egg show. Hey, what was the scam, the HUD scam? I wasn't mad at him. I just wish they had got a better looking guy for that spot. But
that's still wild. But keep going, man.
I was just saying.
What does that even mean?
It means what I just said. I just
what
said
does
what
that
it
mean,
means.
Mo? Like, why does
better
stop casting these ugly niggas. That's what Mo
That's
said.
what I'm saying, bro. Like y'all doing that. What you say to my sister? Like get somebody that is funny. Reasonable. Like golly, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, man.
I don't know what that means either.
Nah, man. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to make sense of it. I just can't. I can't understand what.
What do you mean, bro?
I know what it means. I know what it means in Mo terms.
You know what I mean. You live in a family that keep it a bean all the time. You know what I mean, bro. Stop playing with me. Try to be silly.
Why does him being ugly have to like? What does that have to do with the casting? I don't get it.
It's because it's like such a great role, and it's like yo,
it should have been a Christopher Williams looking ass nigga.
I ain't got to be that. You know who? Yeah, I know who he is. Of course, it could have been. Look, you remember the preacher in the first season? Remember, like, what do we want? Jobs. When do we want it now? Like that dude. They could have put him there.
Okay, to help me understand more. Are you saying that he didn't look the part?
He didn't to me. No,
okay,
he didn't. He had the little locks and all that. You know, I just.
I got you.
He didn't do a bad job.
He looked just like the type of nigga that they get to run this scam. That he looked just like it, just like it.
All right, man.
That's exactly what he looks like he does for it.
So they hit it on the nose, huh?
Yeah, that's the nigga. That's the nigga that you
trustworthy nigga. The trustworthy nigga that we can run this scam.
Mr. Nigga, huh?
You run into him in church or something. Yeah, I got this deal with these Italian guys, man. It's supposed to be some real good money from me.
Yeah, okay. Like, hold on, brother.
Yeah, all right, bro.
Yeah, I think we said that in that episode.
Yeah, we did for sure.
We called him Mr. Nigga multiple times. That's what he is.
He is. But yeah, so yeah, you know, of course, like I said, one of the funniest lines, and don't count my money, nigga. And then we see Juntile in this episode as well. All right, I know he's not. His name was not Juntile. It was the white guy in Rush Hour. But I just wanted to get it off.
We all thought he was Juntile. Yeah, Sang, I think it was his name.
Yeah, nobody. I promise you, I guarantee in real life, people probably always like, oh, that's Juntile from Rush Hour. I guarantee, like it's literally
the Asian dude.
Yeah, it's Juntile from Rush Hour.
Remember, no problem, man. Just Rush Hour.
I knew him from Lost. That's what the first thing came up in my mind from Lost.
Yeah, Lost is a big one, but Rush Hour is the first thing that I always think of because
I ain't seen Rush Hour in so long.
Yeah, man.
Lost, he was one of the.
You don't remember when? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Lost, he was one of the scientists that got dropped off on the island with the redhead chick.
He's a really good actor.
Chris Tucker had one of the wildest lines in Rush Hour. I ain't even. I remember.
I've seen that meme. I need to watch Rush Hour.
Wow.
One of the wildest lines.
Who was he talking to?
He was talking to Juntile, or Sang, who we thought was Juntile. We finally found him, man. I've been looking for your sweet and sour chicken.
I say that all the time. I say that all the time. Your sweet and sour chicken ass. We say that all the time. I say that all the time, bro.
Hey, man, I'm like that shit. Every time I think about it, because now that you look back, Rush Hour came out in '98. Now you look back and be like, yo, this shit was wild. This shit was mad racist.
Yeah. Imagine like somebody said, I've been looking for your fried chicken ass. Like
your watermelon. I've been looking for your watermelon
fried chicken.
Go watch just go back and watch 48 Hours, man. Nick Nolte was in there. Nick Nolte was in 48 Hours wilding, bro. Like I'm surprised Eddie Murphy didn't have to stop the production at some point. Hey, my nigga, calm down. That nigga was he called him. He was calling that man Watermelon as a nickname in the movie.
Bro, I'll never understand the watermelon stereotype because I don't even like watermelon.
Yeah, because I don't even eat watermelon.
That's one of the things.
And the fried chicken, because like who don't like fried chicken? Y'all niggas.
I mean, that's exactly. Everybody like fried chicken, bro.
Yeah, like
who don't fuck with fried chicken?
When you start getting into like the other stuff I don't like this stuff, but other people like pig feet and all that. Then you start. I feel like that would be a funnier stereotype.
I don't eat. Pig feet would be funny. Chitlins would be extremely funny because I don't know nobody else to eat chitlins.
I know one person.
Some black people. No, I'm saying black other cultures. I don't know of another culture. I ain't never studied it or nothing, but I ain't never seen chitlins on a Mexican menu, Italian, nowhere else with black people.
Bro. Yeah, ain't they doing the Don Julio Popeyes collaboration shit too?
Facts, yeah.
And I done seen some shit. I done seen some chefs on social media be on some real nigga shit, like deep fried watermelon. I'm like, I saw a tweet once that said, if I said what I really wanted to say, y'all be asking where I was January 6th. Like if I really said what I wanted to say about these niggas, y'all be asking where my whereabouts were on January
Oh
6th.
man,
Oh
that's
Some
shit,
of this
that's
shit's
funny.
it's so black that
The
shit's out of hand.
the slur that I want to use hasn't even been created yet.
Yeah,
That's
it ain't
what
even
that's one of
oh
those.
man. Only on good
Exactly.
earners y'all gonna get that type of stuff, man. See, you see what the black nurse
Ah,
has inspired, man. That whole energy then jumped off
damn,
the
boy,
screen.
that's funny.
But obviously, his name is Carter. Now that is kind of funny though that his name is Carter, and
That's his.
Chris.
That got to be his last name.
Well, that's his first name. It's Carter Chung.
Oh, okay, got you. I thought you were
Carter
talking about the
Chung.
black dude.
But that was Chris Tucker's last name on Rush Hour,
Right.
James Carter. So
Carter.
God, yeah. So anyway, so Corrado's trying to set up a poker game, and
This is crazy.
it is. But when I first watched this, I thought this was kind of funny. Watching it this time, it just wasn't funny. It just wasn't funny.
It's sad, man. You got people with
This was sad, more than funny.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, this is really rough because this is like the outcast, like they kind of put in this certain location, and it's what it is. You got a nurse taking advantage of, like it's really crazy. It's not like them, but like the situation.
The fact that he had to do this to feel some sort of pride or sense of like
I
self,
know.
like this whole thing is disgusting. Like
Yeah.
like ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, man. The buttons you making like dude said 500% off these dudes, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like you making stupid money, and it's not even like I said, it's not even cool because they ain't even right. They're gonna give you the money just cause you can say whatever and they gonna give you the money.
Yeah.
Like you say, you playing poker with a dude with Alzheimer's, bro.
Hey, this some Junior Soprano shit.
It is.
Going to the mini saints in Newark and how they portray this character, how we've seen him throughout the Sopranos. This ain't Corrado. This Junior
Yeah,
Soprano
this
right here.
part. This is where
This is some This is nasty work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll get a little bit more into when we get more of that scene. We get Paulie and Tony on the road, and Paulie starts reminiscing about Willie Overalls and the fact it was before Meadow was born. Where first he thought it was AJ, and how afterwards them two went with Ralphie and Puss to go out to eat. And bruh, the Sopranos are just bodying this in at the end thing. It's like both of them are gone. And they were compadre, like these are compadre. These are your dogs. Y'all looking at one day we gonna be the dudes in control. We gonna be the capos. We gonna be the boss of this family. Maybe we gonna be somebody important. We was just friends of theirs, all that. But now we're gonna be there. But now you turn around and and Tony has whacked both of them. You know what I mean? Like these are dudes I started off with. It really hones in.
This was my
bro.
crew. This was my crew.
crew.
Yeah, I had to kill both of them.
Kill both of them. Like it really hit for me when I thought about it. I said, damn, we even got to get a glimpse of it with both of them. You know what I mean? Anything else y'all want to add to this ride? Obviously, Tony brings up he starts to start.
I think that's the big part of this scene.
Okay.
That's why that's another reason. So to lay it out, like I didn't mean to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
He asked Ralph about the Jenny Sack joke.
Well,
And her having the mole on her ass. Yeah. He asked Paulie about the Jenny Sack joke. Her having a mole on her ass, and who could have possibly told her that? Or excuse me, told Johnny that. I'm always conflicted in what I feel here in the sense of what did Tony expect Paulie to do? Like, I can't really just be like, man, I told her, man. Like, cause now I think Tony ain't the type of nigga that's gonna be like, oh, it's cool. I'm glad you were honest with me. Like, Tony's not that type of person. So you even asking him, and Paulie not being, I don't think Paulie is being selfish and not saying like, nigga, I didn't say it. I think he know Tony. I've been knowing you long enough, kid, to where if I tell you this, then it's gonna fuck something up. Like I know you, and they went in detail throughout this episode, even when they were having dinner with the girls. Like I know you. It sounds good in merit to be like, man, he should just tell him the truth. But like, nah, I can't. I know because I know you.
Mo, I'm about to quote Martin. Keep the lie alive. Gotta keep that lie alive, man. To Spike's point, you can't. There's nothing you can say if you That lies your decision. That's what you live with. That's what you die with. From here on out, once you decided that you told Johnny Sack, if it's ever get brought up, I'm denying it to the grave. Especially since the only person that could corroborate it is in the grave himself. So I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't say nothing. Ain't no
Little
evidence.
Paulie.
This is what they do. I'm a professional criminal, bro. Nigga, I've been in rooms with gangsters, cops,
Police. Yeah.
feds, all types of shit. I know what it is to shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Also,
surprised you went Martin quote right there instead of The Wire, Slim Charles.
yeah, I know, but I've used that before numerous times, so I
Gotcha.
decided to switch
Gotcha.
it up. Also, just want to say, Paulie randomly mentioned Chevy Chase, whatever the fuck happened to him. Notorious dickhead. Like notorious. If you don't know, just do your Googles. Notorious dickhead. Like just a bad person.
I know y'all definitely at length talked about that on
Oh yeah. Well, I forget what
CG.
episode there was.
It
Yeah,
was
there was an
somewhere.
episode we did on him. He's some of the stories like he wild. Chevy Chase a
Yeah.
wild
I
dude.
ain't know that. I got to read up on him.
Oh, you know, Chevy Chase the tour,
Yeah, I ain't know that.
Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame, first ballot.
Is he up there with Ellen?
He Ellen's that's light work. What you talking about?
Oh
Ellen light work.
wow.
Chevy Chase a dickhead, bro. Like,
Damn, I ain't know that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well known in Hollywood circles.
Man.
Hmm.
We go back to the unique executive games, and Brian snitches on Junior, but we find out that he stabbed the dean at Rutgers and then slit his own wrist. Weird. I don't even know what to call it. Junior's still telling jokes. I don't really got nothing else to add to that. Anything I want to add to the unique
Very,
executive game?
very effective. Like, dude has a very old to be even old to have that much of me and Richard was talking about this earlier about another character. He has such a punchable face.
Oh man,
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was never mad that Junior was treating him like this because he was
no,
such a dickhead. Like, bro, get the fuck like. I, great character right here. Like for the one, I think he was a one-off win. We ain't see him no more, right?
nope.
Very high on the level of like you came in and you was just complete dipshit. And I see why you got whatever you get in this world.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a very interesting thing. Shout out to all of the actors here too. That whatever conditions they were supposed to play, like you're getting into the method, even if you don't got no lines. You got to understand. Okay, this character has this condition. This person will be most likely doing this, this, and this. It's very subtle like that. Like I think that I respect all of the actors. They had to, hey, this is your condition. This is what you're here for. Giving them backstory so they can all kind of embody that a little bit. I know sometimes extras and stuff they don't always, get a ton to work with, but they at least get enough to kind of play into. And so yeah, it was just real interesting. And as far as like that part,
very one flew over the cuckoo's nest type of atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's crazy, bro. We get Junior and Carter Chong talk about their fathers. And Junior brings up the quarter story because, and pretty much I was really with Junior in that story about far as Pies Pop with the exception of making him walk 11 miles. That's pretty crazy work. But I mean it tracks for some kind of parents in the 40s or something. It's wild, but like, yeah, you like, smacking on the head, like, bro, you don't want no quarter, because that's one thing I see, especially in our community, and not just our community, people in general. You're just too prideful to make a profit when you're in. I ain't gonna say entitled to it, but you deserve it, and somebody's offering it, you're still like, nah, I'm going. Like, come on, bro. So I wasn't mad at that lesson. And Carter Chong, man, his dad's even crazier. It's got a 96 on something in third grade, and his dad asked, where the other 4 points?
That's you know what's funny about this scene? That always stood out to me because you got Junior talking about first you have the generation gap.
Mm-hmm.
And Junior just told a story. Just think about how fucked up that is if somebody told you that right now. Like my dad made me walk home 11 miles as a minor, like as a child, not as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's a little bit different, but like as a little kid, walked 11 miles because I refused a quarter. I get the lesson in it compared to how affected Carter was over. I got an A. I got an A plus. It's 4 different points. Like he's so mad about that when Junior's looking at him like, bruh, Nigga, I walked 11 miles, man. What you talking about ain't shit. Like them little 4 points. Let your dad be mad and keep that shit moving. But it doesn't matter, man. It's all about where you are mentally.
Cultural differences too.
Yeah, cultural difference, like just your psychological state and what affects you. That one small thing impacted Carter the same way walking 11 miles. Actually, probably more than what Junior did. Junior learned how to adapt and live with it. It's affected him, of course. He's the person he is because of that. But at the same time, it's not like he looking at his problems like, what? 96? Like, that ain't shit. Once again, remember when? Back in my day, we had it so much tougher than you guys. We had to walk up to school, uphill both ways, all that shit.
Very well said. I think it continuously adds to the theme of this episode. It's like it just ain't the same anymore. Like Junior looking at dude like, I'm in here with you. Like what? Like come on, bro. I done killed niggas, man. You talking to me about a 96 on a fucking spelling test? Fuck out of my room.
And David, yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. And David Chase definitely played into a stereotype. Asians
with
smart,
the Asian parents.
The whole nine, Asian parents,
Asian parents,
yeah, I'm not saying that stereotype. Not all. Listen, just like anything else, people aren't a monolith. The whole nine. It's just funny that he dove into that bag because, like we talk about all the time, David Chase doesn't spare anyone, including Italians.
This speaks to that we ain't just being. I'm glad that you pointed that out, Rich, because people will try to say because we black, we more sensitive to the shit that he do to black characters than the other ones. That's a good call out because that's very much what he did in that scene. I wanted to avoid even saying like the typical stereotypical Asian parents, but I'm glad you brought that up, Rich, because again, David Chase don't spare nobody. Everybody.
Yeah, hey, I'm about to say, listen, one of the funniest shits he said was when that nigga Tony called Furio immigrant. And that nigga's Italian, bro. That shit's hilarious to me. Like, everybody gets it, bro. Call that nigga immigrant and admit that shit.
Bro, like,
so fucking immigrant.
Your own people immigrant. Like, bro, I could not imagine calling another nigga that's from somewhere else immigrant.
Ain't that crazy, though? There's two different, there's two ends of the spectrum, right? No, what I'm saying is on one end, you calling somebody an immigrant. On the other end, you calling somebody white bread wop.
Oh, Wonder Bread Wop.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Wonder Bread Wop. You know what I mean? So it's kind of...
That's Cusimano.
Both sides are getting it. Yeah. Both sides are getting it. Pause.
People from the city, from the country, the old country. And then you got people that are in this country, in Jersey. That's good. That's why it's fair. It's fair. It's fair.
And it's just we all hypocritical, man. We all hypocrites.
Yeah, we like to laugh at everybody. We won't laugh at ourselves.
This nigga Spike getting weak, man. What's up, Spike?
Because he might call somebody immigrant. That's why.
I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I said about Tony and Furio. So are Africans immigrants? Like y'all wouldn't call African immigrants?
I think we all know the answer to that.
But you wouldn't call. You wouldn't call that nigga immigrant though.
No, that ain't coming at your mouth. like imagine being in an argument with somebody and that's where it goes. Like not broke ass.
Imagine Spike. Imagine we was about to record this Spike. Like Spike, was you good, man? Nah, man. It's fucking immigrant just talking shit to me before. You're like, what?
What? Like, bro.
And it's a Jamaican.
You like, bro. Crazy.
Whole time it's a Jamaican, you calling him an immigrant.
Yeah, asking niggas for their green cards and shit, man. Where's your green card? All that shit. All that shit wild. That's some wild shit, man. Y'all gotta chill with that shit.
That's a top tier, that's a top tier, like cutthroat comment right there on somebody.
Nigga said some fucking immigrant. Hey, Tony meant that shit.
Yeah, he meant it.
He hated
passion. Like, yeah, for real. He might as well smash.
Hey, listen, for all that, should have clapped them little cheeks. He would have been salty. Like Furio would have been like, "Damn, I did all that for this."
He probably been cool with it though, because he like, yo,
he would have loved it.
This is American style, you know what I mean? Love it, think about it. But yeah, so
American style. You a funny nigga, Mo.
It's crazy.
Anyways, all right, y'all. Sorry. But yeah, did y'all get the idea? Because everybody in here killed or shot or done something violent, but they have like a mental illness of some kind of illness of some kind of condition that prevents them from being in prison. Is that the understanding we're supposed to have?
Yeah. Yes. Which makes me, I always wondered what Carter did.
Okay. That's why I say, I think something to do with his father, bro.
No.
I think it got something to do. I got something to do with his dad, bro. We'll come back to that when his mom pulled up. But I started to think about it. I may have to look up some theories again. But I said, bro, it's gotta have the way he was like, F you, like he was like still there, like in his mind, he was still wherever his dad said that in third grade. He went right back there.
Man, that's just a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that makes, to what you just said, makes sense to the ending with Carter and Junior.
Yeah, yeah.
He looking at Junior as a father figure, dad type, and then Junior kind of lets him down. And he has that reaction. We can talk about it when we get there, though.
Okay. We go to the next scene. Tony and Paulie, they're falling asleep, and they agree to pull over to the old spot back in the day. And it's like, yo, you remember those 16-year-old who was in? You know, that's crazy. 16, remembering 16.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, man.
I don't even want to know. Like,
well, yeah, mod on.
A lot of things I could say right now. I'm not going to say. But yeah, they pull up to the spot that they thought was Havenairs, and it's no longer Havenairs. And then another stereotype comes up. I'm assuming this Spanish guy. He just says, "I don't know."
You don't know who that is? You don't know who that is?
That's the other guy y'all talking about.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. That's the appearance we're talking about. You know what he did?
Manuel Miranda.
He wrote Hamilton. You heard of Hamilton, right? The Broadway play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy who wrote it. He was the one who created it.
Is he the one in it?
Yeah.
With the ponytail?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, wow.
This is his acting debut.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this man is in Sopranos, and then he created Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
That's because he thought Sopranos was a singing show, like most of the actors.
But that's good, though. Like, there's just this little gem of what someone like him was just in the show as a fucking nigga was pushing carts. He was a fucking, I don't even know what the name.
Mike Epps was in this, bro. Mike Epps was on the Sopranos. I just seen this nigga over the weekend. Like,
facts.
Bro. You know what I'm saying? Bokeem Woodbine. Like, we got just random people that have just been in here. Lawrence Taylor. So, but yeah, no, I thought it was kind of, that's why I thought kind of stereotypical. Like, I don't know, because that stereotype they don't know, but they know, but they always use that for whatever reason. That's what I was thinking.
That shit real life. I went to Puerto Rico. They did me just like that.
Like,
you knew they knew, but you knew they knew, but they ain't want to go through the like trouble of telling you.
No, yeah, no.
Like, so it's just like, no, you ain't like, man, nigga, I know you know what I'm saying, bro. Like,
bro, I swear.
What are you talking about?
I got the translation app now, my job, so I be knowing what's up.
They got the earbuds now too.
Now that's like, what I say.
They got the earbuds where you can tell what somebody else saying, but I don't know how you relay the shit back though.
I don't need to say anything back. I just need to hear you.
You just need to understand what they saying.
That's it. Yeah, that's cool. Well, modern technology. So they check into the hotel, and it's not the Havenairs. And they don't serve bottles, but they got mini bars. A mini bar, and they don't have no steaks, but they have salads and wraps after 11. And the thing about the old days is obviously, y'all know the line.
The old days.
The old days.
So they go across the street to eat some nachos.
That's ain't nothing worse than having your mind set on a certain meal,
man,
and then have to not even anything comparable. Like, I went from steaks and scotch to fucking nachos. Bro. Look like the nachos were ruffled chips, man. Get the fuck out of here.
And the nachos is like, you know they're gonna be weak. You know they're gonna be weak.
And what kind of pub y'all got is nachos? Like, what the fuck is y'all doing in here? Y'all ain't got no burgers or nothing.
Ain't no chicken tenders. Ain't like what?
I mean, give me some grilled chicken at least, bro. Like, dang. Too much to ask, is it? But, again, the old days. And so, Paulie tells this really good story about being pulled over in the deep South with Johnny Boy. And, I just got to say, man, did Tony Sirico kill this? Because it feels like such a real story from a real person. He's so in it. I'm like, bro, he's telling it like this really happened in his life. He's doing the lean, the point, man, I was telling him like, hey, this, what do I tell this prick? Like, he's all in it. I'm like, bro, Tony Sirico, rest in peace. He is killing this. Like, you really feel like this is who he is. He tells the story. Like, these are written lines for him. And he's telling the story like this really was his, like, bro, I just respected it. When people do that on screen, it always blows my mind how they tell stories and they can do the pauses and the laughs and the tear and all that, like they really lived it. That is another level. Um,
This is what the grin was for when he pulled up in the driveway.
okay.
This is it. This exemplifies. This is how Tony remembers him. Like you and my dad being out on missions and y'all doing this and trouble is amidst and all this shit. And it was the earlier times. It wasn't the end of times like we're in now. That was the grin. That was what Tony was looking at him and seeing. Like that's the reason that Paulie's around. Like
Mm,
you have that cloth, you have that portal to the old world. You really slick one of the only motherfuckers that do.
yeah,
Everybody else is
yeah,
my age or younger. So I think this was a really dope scene. I agree with you, Mo. He
yeah,
bodied this from an acting perspective.
yeah. Because I guess Junior's not mentally there anymore, and then Feach they put Feach back in the can. So yeah, and then Phil and all of them in New York. So yeah.
Peach gets a shout out this episode too.
Oh yeah. Sure do.
Once again, remember, I think all this. This is a brilliant episode when you think about it.
It's brilliant, like the weaving of it all, like because of the lack thereof of certain things. I think those things are what really are holding it up in some sense. Just make you think about things, like how you don't want to think about things. So, but yeah, Paulie tells him about his dad loving him, and the way he does, and that there was only a time. That was the only time he seen Johnny Boy cry. And Tony says that he always got this sense that his dad didn't believe in him. And Paulie, this is where Paulie's limitation emotionally kicks in. And I wanted to say too, we'll get more into it. I'll save it. Hopefully I'll remember when we get to the Beansy and Tony conversation, because I think it'll tie more into what you were talking about, Spike, with the smirk. But like here, Paulie's emotional limitation kicks in as far as like he's not married, he don't have kids, and that'll come back up later, because he says, well, your dad, of course, your dad, cared about you and believed in you. That's why he gave you the whole Willie overalls thing, which to some sense, yeah, that's there, but there's a lot of other things that obviously has changed the trajectory of where Tony went. And then obviously, Janice, he used to take Janice everywhere based on the flashbacks, and not Tony. And so, yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I just wanted to acknowledge that little part of it too. Anything else y'all want to add to that?
No, for me.
All right. So we get into the morning, and Paulie's sharing a story, and then the guy says, "Have a safe trip to Miami," and Tony gets pissed about it. And he's like, "Bro, you tell this man your life story. Like, why are you telling people where our location is and everything? Because there's gonna be a couple more of these subtlety things that is happening, but."
Not to be the dead horse, but end at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do this shit when you and my dad were on the road. Like y'all could do this. Like technology wasn't the same. It wasn't fucking Rico's laws and shit. Like it was different.
Yeah.
And different from the conversation at the table as to I respect how much of a gangster you are and were in those days. How could you not know how to adapt? I've had to adapt. I've done these different things. Why you can't do it? That's his frustration, and we'll get that in a later episode this season. That's his frustration with Paulie. Like you never adapted. You're still the same nigga that was in the 60s or 70s or whenever it was that you was in your prime. You never adapted to be better at this like Tony was trying to be.
But and that's probably a bigger part of his concern. But Tony don't realize that Paulie is the exception to the rule. He didn't
meaning what?
Because he didn't adapt is how he survived this long.
Good point.
That is the craziest thing about this whole thing. Even when we get to the end of the series, that is what makes it so crazy. Is Paulie, because he did it, and all of the things that he didn't necessarily have like I'll get there. Like this was
that's a really good point, because like it speaks to the different ideals that Tony and Paulie have about what this thing is. Paulie looks at it one way and like I feel like Paulie feel like I reached my ceiling, bro.
Yeah.
Like I know, like I should be dead or in jail right now, but I'm not. I'm still living the life, and I did that by being this way. So I ain't gonna change. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But Tony looking at it like I want much more from this thing.
Yeah.
And Paulie's like indirectly telling him like it ain't more, bro. Like this is what it's the same thing what you was just saying about Carmella. This is what it is, bro. It ain't like you can't make it no more.
Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, Rich.
No, I was just real quick. I was just gonna throw in just the fact that that's one of the things we're getting older. A lot of people, when they get older, they have issues accepting what the new norm is.
Good
Like,
point.
bro,
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Like, I don't. If I got to do all this to keep up, I might as well. I'm cool. I'm cool. And just like you
Facts.
just made a great point, it explains a lot, especially as we get towards the last few episodes about Paulie and his stance on things. And
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I capped out, man. I'm maxed out. Nigga,
That's
sometimes you
it.
gotta take your chips and go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts.
Funny you mention that. Or take your buttons and go home.
Mhm.
Nah.
Touche.
And you know another remember when it burns Tony up too because Paulie is a happy wanderer and Tony
Mm.
is a sad clown.
That's a great point, Mo.
That's
Paulie, this
really
is why he's
good
doing like,
pull.
bro. He like he's having conversations like, bro. I'm not worried about if I'm never going to be on the news because I'm never going to be this big captain. I'm never going to really run a crew. I'm never going to be boss of the family. Like I'm not going to be on the news. I know how to stay low. I'm good with this. I'm good with he don't make a lot of money. We find out all these things. I'm good where I'm at. Like I said, he's a happy wanderer, and Tony's like, bro. There's literally like
My life
this.
on the line. Tony,
Yeah,
like
our
my
life.
life is literally on the line. Like we on the line for murder, bro.
Yeah,
And you talking to some stranger in a buffet line.
yeah. And I'll get more into it, man. So good, so good, so good. So we go back to Paula getting this much bread is crazy though. Like I just like, bro, that's crazy.
Nigga,
It's a
that's
buffet, but still, it's
the
like
most nigga thing that you
yeah,
can do.
that's very
Nigga,
negative.
I'm leaving
Very
here. I'm
negative.
leaving here with something.
Oh man,
Where he put all that shit at? That's what I'm like. He's just walking out with the plate.
Don't even matter, nigga. I'm leaving
That
here with
was
something, nigga.
crazy.
that was he kept going. Like I'm like, bro, relax, dude, relax. You're not,
That's one of those things where, like, if you with your girl or either one of your homeboys and they bring that back to the car, you're like, bro, what you doing, bro? Why you do that? Like, why you
I'm
bring
definitely,
that?
I'm
Like,
definitely just
why
like,
would you
bro,
do that, bro?
stop, bro. Come on, bro. You're not gonna eat these. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
you
Like,
just got it because it was free.
bro.
Like, come on.
But that's Paulie again. He don't make a lot of money. He's not ambitious. He's just getting by. So anytime he can get something for free, get a finesse off, he gonna take it. That's the way he live his life. And there's an appreciation I have for Paulie in this episode. But we'll get there a little bit more. We go to it's a visiting day. Another remember when at the facility, and Carter Chong's mom visits, and of course, Corrado, he's speaking to her. He kind of he says the same thing twice about salivating, and Carter Chong and his mother there. I honestly still feel him. Like I still feel where he's coming from. She's like, you hanging around these gangsters. Like, bro, if you come in here and that's where you want to start out, is right there. Like, now, how am I doing? How's my progress? They're saying you talk about the doctor saying I've been real aggressive lately. Again, he's on a short leash with his parents. It's like, bro, y'all want perfection even in here, and he just not feeling it, bro. And he's like, you can't trust everything you read in the news. Remember what they said about dad, which was interesting. We find out about the stock market thing kind of later a little bit, so we don't get a ton of it. But I just want to say, y'all can add whatever y'all want. Carter Chong is up there. I mean, they just gave us a great one-off character last episode with Warren Feldman. Like, great one-off character. And then they give us Carter Chong. I'm like, these are such interesting characters. You just want to, I would like to just get like a full like composition of this is their story. I don't have to see no video, nothing, just a composition like this is their story. Anyways, what is there anything I wanted to add to this meetup or whatever?
No, not really. That's perfect though. What they did, I think they did a great job of giving you just enough, but not enough to really fill in the blanks on his character. Because you do want to know kind of why you in here, what happened with your dad, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we're not really supposed to care either at the same time. It's almost some characters are better with the mystery.
Yeah.
Remember when they tried to make? And I might have said this before in some past seasons. Remember, some of y'all might the Geico caveman commercials. Remember when they tried to make that a TV show?
They were wilding.
Yeah, like some shit just ain't, bro. Like just leave this shit where it is. Like leave these are made for 30-second spots. Like why you trying to make a
caveman TV show?
Yeah, the caveman. Yeah, they made it into a TV show because the commercials were so popular that someone was like, "Hey, we should make this into a series," and that shit got canceled after 3 episodes.
Bro, I bet they would have tried that with Flo, and then when that happened, they're like, "Oh no, we ain't gonna."
Yeah, this is supposed to be 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. Like sometimes just give the people what they want and don't try to make it more than what it is.
Yeah.
But they did a great job of this.
I still might watch a Flow comedy no more. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe a little sketch, a
Yeah,
little
I
sketch or
might
something.
slick. Yeah, if the pilot's good, I might stick in there for it.
You probably.
Um,
Yeah,
what was I
well,
about to say? In the sense, damn.
With the mystery of Carter Chong and the one-off characters and
Oh yes, good point when you brought up with Warren and Carter. That goes to how much like we're keeping this shit top notch this year.
yeah,
Like we're in at the end, like we're gonna compelling one episode characters where, like you just said, Mo, I could take a whole little written thing about their background and how they got here. They that interesting and they don't mean shit to this world other than this episode.
yeah.
This was a fantastic way to do things
Mm-hmm.
as we're wrapping it up.
I might mess around. I might have to write some. I might have to write like some fan fiction
Mm,
on this. Like, you know what I mean?
on his background and shit.
Yeah, it's just on one of these one-off characters we kind of build on a Back of the Being episode. We're like, okay, we're gonna deal with Warren Feldman. Okay, so what's his story? What we build on it and try to create some like dope. I just love like
Mm.
alternate universes and stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, Tony and Paulie they make it to Miami, and Seal calls Tony. That's crazy. That car don't even look like it'll make it to Miami, to be real. But Seal calls Tony for the update on Willie's
Now that
skeleton.
van toasted. You're right.
Bruh.
That's crazy.
Bruh.
That van,
Look
they
at the
riding in
rims,
is
bro.
toasted, bro.
Look at the rims. You know what? That
Mm.
might be an old faithful though. That'd be one of the ones that would actually probably
You
make it.
know it's gonna make it. You
Hey,
know it's gonna make
probably low
it.
mileage, everything, bro.
yeah, they want to be incognito too. They don't want any attention on themselves.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Minivan, yeah.
They're getting their Wonder Bread whop on. But yeah, Tony still calls Tony to update on Willie's skeleton being dug up, and that's pretty. And he said Carmela's fine. He gets off the phone. Paulie's making jokes with the hotel staff, and Tony is annoyed. And I like I said before, I know Tony gets annoyed with Paulie talking so much because he even was annoyed with Paulie. His heart rate went up even when he was in a coma. So there's really something there with Paulie, But yeah, it's the Happy Wanderer thing again. Like I ain't gonna double down too much on it, but like yeah, it's the Happy Wanderer thing. And I get to some extent how you could be like that when you wish you could be me and Spike have talked about this on another week in the books. Like you wish you could not care so much. You know what I mean? Like we talked about it.
It's almost like a jealousy that Tony has of Paula.
Yeah.
Like Tony is in a position where I'm not able to have these conversations with people like this just randomly because I don't know if they the fucking feds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who they are. Paulie don't worry about that shit. Like I'm just a gangster, just like you said, the happy one. I'm just out. I'm outside, bro.
Because it always works out.
Yeah, this is a road trip
for
from Miami this is a road trip to Miami to me. I'm gonna talk to the bellhops. I'm gonna do all these things because it don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm old. I done been through this shit. Like it don't really matter. But like for Tony, like everything is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna frustrate you to see someone else have that nonchalantness in this. Like, bro, like how are you not feeling like I'm feeling? It's how Tony is looking at him.
Got nothing to lose. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
But like, Tony, okay, it's just me. All right, well, I mean, my mom, of course, but it's just me. So I'm living free. Like it's like I don't have.
Here's what it is. This is what I like. Paulie is the epitome of this is what I signed up for.
Yeah,
this is what we do, nigga. Like yeah, you looking at it like the end of the world because of Carmela and the kids and all this shit. But for me, this is what I do. If they come lock us up for this, nigga, I had a nice career.
It's a part of the game.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Yeah. We go to the next scene, Corrado and Carter Chong writing a letter to President Cheney.
Vice President Cheney.
Vice President, okay. The black nurse comes in.
That's a good movie too, man. Vice is a good movie.
Is it?
Christian Bale.
I heard. Yeah.
Forget
Christian Bale. Man. Christian Bale, man. He did his thing.
Forget him.
He played Cheney, right?
Cheney a wild, yeah. Dick Cheney a wild dude, man, in real life.
Man,
there was a series, I think, too, about it.
What's wrong with Christian Bale? What do you do?
I told you I ain't never got past what he did on Shaft, bro.
Oh.
I ain't gonna homeboy got rhythm.
Yeah. Homeboy got rhythm. That shit wild.
Yeah, man. I can't get past that, bro. Some actors do so well, you can't get past it.
So you ain't fucking with Batman or nothing?
No, I can't get past it. Like, it's some actors, they'll do something, a role, and you'll never, like Clifton Powell, some people will never get past certain things with Clifton Powell. It's like, it's
who is another actor like that for you?
Charles, like I know not for me. I know a lot of people still hold on to Charles Wood Harris's brother, Steve Harris. from
Oh
Diary
no.
of a Mad Black Woman. Lawrence Fishburne talked about getting it a lot from black women when he did What's Love Got to Do with
What
It.
about your boy from
People really hate him.
Snowfall that did that
Dominique
scene?
West is mine. Dominique West is mine.
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah,
I always like McNulty bitch ass. Anything
yeah.
he playing.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Anything he playing.
Like, bro, I do
That's
not care what
McNulty
you're.
bitch ass.
You know who's really bad that always to me plays that no matter what is the mom from Game of Thrones.
Cersei.
No, not Cersei. Ned Stark's wife.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Everything I've seen, and I mean, she's played like she in Gangs of London, still kind of
Yeah.
like evilish. There's been
Same role.
White
Same role kind of.
Queen, or something like that, White Princess, or something like that. And then she was in, I think she was in Suits. Remember, she was in Suits for like they was like, did she or didn't she like know this accident was gonna happen to the employee anyway? But she always plays that kind of like, but it ain't enough to make me like I'm
You
off
don't
of
fuck
what.
with her?
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with it though.
Oh,
Like,
okay, gotcha.
but him, yeah, Christian Bale, I can't even do it, bro. That would,
For me, it's Dominique. That's my Dominique West. What you
I'm
saying about
Dominique West for me too.
Dominique
Like
West?
he's there.
I fuck with him as an actor. He's good, but still, every
It,
time I see him, I
the
don't even
dude
know
that
to
plays
bitch
House
ass.
for me as well. Like, yeah, I'll never like. Yeah.
Mm,
Anyway,
I like him though.
ah,
He one of my favorite characters.
I can see that.
Yes, I fuck
Real
with House.
douchebagism right there.
Yeah, I fuck with House a lot.
Yeah, house go crazy.
But so the black nurse comes in and he gets Corrado to sign the pictures of him handcuffed to sell on eBay. Man, that's classic. And I think they're being I think they're only thing I want to say is I think they're being a bit meta in this moment of how much we love these characters and would take autograph obviously of them, and they play like these evil people or whatever, and we would kind of almost purchase these. Like this could have probably went up and made a bag for real. So it felt a little meta to me, but I ain't had nothing else to add to that.
It was. I agree with you there, Mo. It did
Okay.
seem a little bit like, all right,
Yeah, like,
we get it.
We got it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's even more like who are the weirdos out here buying this shit?
Yeah. Yeah, people that be buying like
Facts.
serial killers pen that they wrote down their victims' names or something. Like, bro, what is you on? We see Beansy, and Beansy's doing better now in Miami than he was obviously in Jersey.
He only had his legs.
Man, he's a stand-up guy.
Stand-up guy. Yeah, y'all ain't shit.
Stand up is a theme in this episode too. Like that's a subtle theme that they keep using. But Tony brings him some Cleaver hats and he asks, "Where's the DVD?" And I just thought how removed Tony is from the film. Like y'all always
didn't even think he didn't even think.
That's what got me.
That didn't even cross my mind.
Bro, those hats probably happen to be in the bag because Carmela packed it or something. He's like, "Oh, look, I got these." Like,
facts,
bro.
That's a good point. That's exactly what he got that hat from.
Carmela put this is not this is not his car. It's not in the trunk somewhere. Like it's just, bro. But they look at some old photos and we see Paulie, we see Junior, we see Johnny, and then we find out that Beansy has to use the bathroom through a bag. Just another reminder of how time has passed and what Richie did. They still just the damage is still there, even though Richie's not around. And then also it resonates with Tony. It feels like he went through a real recovery after the coma, so it's a little bit of a sympathy there, I think. Anything else y'all want to add to that scene?
Another scene that adds to the theme of the show of end at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm Tony, I'm sitting right here with a guy that got like looking at classic history pictures of my dad and him when I knew they was in their heyday, they prime, and it just isn't like this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking to Beansy, and Beansy was there. Like the whole thing for Tony in this episode, and we talked about throughout this series is end at the end, and I think this is another way to subtly nail it home.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got somebody that's old enough to like. You know how it is when we look at Polaroids and old pictures now.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was that shit was 20 years ago or whatever, maybe how we dressed, who we were with, where we may have been at, all of that shit. You like, damn, it make you feel old. And I think that's the good thing that they were going for right here.
Do you think it was odd that Beansy gave him that photo knowing Junior was in it, or do you think he was more so looking at it like he'll appreciate it because his dad's in it as well? Because everybody
I,
knows to walk on eggshells, and Beansy's in the know. Because remember, later on they talked about the picture that Paulie had on the wall. Like, yeah, I heard about that. Like, he knows what's going on, so he knows that Tony got shot. He knows Uncle Junior did it. So did you find that anybody find that a little bit odd, or was it just kind of one of those?
It was odd, but Beansy feels like he's trying to create like some reconciliation type of thing. I feel like that's the vibe that he was giving off this whole trip with them being there to me. Like obviously all the stuff he says about Paulie, and then this moment, I feel like that's what he was on. Like based on the woman he was with, which Tony says later, like, man, you got your good one. I feel like all that was built into like Beansy. And he's had a lot of times to be, he was, got that Richie problem out of here. And he living life. He probably looking at life a totally different way now, but
yeah, I think that's a good point to bring up. I think that he was definitely aware of what he was doing, but also it was just in a sense of like you wanted to. We keep talking about this as the theme of the episode. You want it to be one way, but it's another way. Like Beansy, old school G's, like bro, like this what happened. You can't run from Junior shooting you and leave him in there. Like probably some calls were made from Junior's end as to put this in play, like to where I'm even bringing this shit to Tony and trying to have him reminisce. But remember, when is the lowest form of conversation?
it is.
Great point.
And the thing is too, the Tony, he talked about how he'll talk about it later how sometimes he wished Paulie was his dad at one point. It really shows the gap and everything. But you look at Paulie when he sees himself, he sees it resonates, but it doesn't like hit a deep root because Paulie doesn't have reminders around of things that let him know he's older. Like when you have children, that's a reminder instantly. I fall into that all the time when I look at my daughter. It's like quickly, like God, like certain developments and everything. So Paulie doesn't have those things. He said even in a previous episode, how is it y'all when I was a kid, y'all were old, and now I'm old, and you're still old.
Y'all
like,
still old.
So in his head, it still has it. He got dudes chasing the guy in high school, like we still back in high school. It doesn't resonate for Paulie like it does for Tony. So on your journey of going, it's like Tony is finally at that point of the journey where it's like, okay, this is where guys end up dying or getting knocked off the top. Like the rise days is over because I'm looking around. The guys I rose with, I even had to whack, or they're in the system, or they're for whatever reason they're dead. So I look at Tony's like, damn, I'm the guy now. I'm the OG. I'm the supervisor. I'm the this. It's not fun anymore. I always like to reference Love and Basketball. It's just not fun for me anymore because you're not there anymore. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing point, and to speak to where we are in this series. Like all of this is slowly starting to set in on Tony. And like Paulie don't have these troubles or these problems, and that's part of the conflict that we have with them in this episode. Like that. So
he never. Paulie was like, it was never going to happen for me because I was never going to be that ambitious. Like it was, you know what I mean? It's like I'm going to always get a low charge. Like nobody would ever.
There's no way. Yeah, and again, there's no way that me and Tony can relate if he's never been an ambitious, and Tony is as ambitious enough to be the boss of a family. Like, there's no way that they could ever relate. But Tony thought he wanted that to be his dad. He thought that that's what he wanted to be.
Yeah.
He's looking at Paulie like, I thought I wanted to be you, but I realized I ain't shit like you.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
It is. It's deep. It's really deep, man. Yeah. Okay. Oh man. So Junior Corrado, he's eating Kit Kats and watching TV, and Uncle Pat calls to push
his best life, bro.
He is. He really is.
Living lavish.
I mean, hey, look, you dodged prison.
What more could you want, man?
I mean, you dodged the can, and you still,
Yeah, the fact that this is supposed to be jail, he eating Kit Kats and drinking tea and watching TV, he's like incarcerated. That's insane. Really. That's crazy. Yeah,
and they still kicking up to him, so he's getting commissary, so to speak.
Shit crazy.
Yeah, he can't even accept it. Well, I can see why he wouldn't accept it, but
but it's hard because you never know which part of Junior is coming out when he's making certain decisions.
That's the amazing
That's
thing.
it.
This is one of the best characters in TV history from that sense because you
Yeah.
never fucking really know. It
Yeah.
goes in and out, and you can't really tell when he being for real and when he fucked up. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's like how did who wrote this? Because it's like it's such a scatterbrain way of writing.
It's crazy.
Because you're like, you got, because when people write scripts, I've seen scripts, you have to have like parentheses to evoke what the emotion should be behind the line. And
Mhm.
so I just imagine when he's saying this line to the next line, and you got all of these little parenthesis notes, and it's like, how do you keep punching them from here to here? And only people would know is who that script.
Who wrote
And,
it?
and that's why I would
As
love to
fans,
see that script for Junior,
yes,
bro.
agreed. I agree with you
Golly.
100% because this is again one of the most amazing performances in the sense of us as fans. We looking at it and we like, is he fucked up? Like I've said this, we've said this throughout the
For a
series of us
minute.
recording this, and you genuinely cannot tell.
Yeah, and we might have went all the way back to another toothpick is what, season 3?
Yeah,
I think, yeah,
Think
because I
so.
think it's another toothpick university, and so yeah, bro. Since season 3, we've been saying like when he says, "Oh," he's like, "No, that he's a fox. He's got them all fooled." Ever since
Like
Papa
who?
Bacala said that, we always have been looking at Junior like ever since the day I was looking at him different. So you never really know. But anyway, Uncle Pat calls to push the plan through, and he's like, the timing is not right, and that's pretty much it.
That's crazy. That was season 3. My goodness, that feels like yesterday.
Bro,
Damn, remember when? Shit.
bro, that's what I'm, bro. Man, that season 3 and 4 run, some of my favorite. I don't remember what we did on there. One day I will come back to it, but some of my favorite, just my favorite Sopranos, anyways, 3 and 4. But we'll do our own rankings when that time comes.
is that something that y'all would have wanted them to explore? Junior trying to escape.
Yeah, yep. It'd been more interesting than this. This stuff is not interesting. Spoiler alert.
I don't think so. I don't think so, mainly because it takes it softens the whole conversation we're having right now. Like, this is it. What do you mean escape? Escape where? Like Junior said, where I'm gonna lam it. Like what like
Good point.
what are we gonna do? Like, this is it. Like, I should be in jail. I gotta take what I can. Like, the fact that I'm not in jail is cool.
Good point.
But
I agree with Rich. I think it would be interesting, Mo. It ain't far fetched for them to take it that way, but I do agree. It's more impactful if like Junior understands, like this it, bro. Enjoy your fucking Kit Kat, enjoy your poker games, enjoy the Tonight Show. Like this it.
Yeah. It well, I guess just from a sense, like it would have been interesting, like if we already seen him kind of try to get away at one point when he was really starting to lose his memory, but I think if we didn't have that, and then here they placed that, but like in the midst about to do it, he forgets, like in the midst of it. I feel like there's like some confusion. I feel like it could be interesting, like more than, but because we already kind of got him running off at one point, it would kind of be like, okay, it's a little redundant. And now you look at it, it kind of feels like a little filler, but it didn't happen. So what are you gonna do? Oh man. So we go to the next scene, and they're still having dinner. They got some young ladies, some attractive young ladies, and they're reminiscing on a lot of things. And then of course, talking about Beansy being a stand-up guy, and then apologizing, of course. Beansy took it in stride. He's still a wise guy. Or is he not a wise guy? I don't think he was affiliated. He's like a friend of theirs.
Friend of ours.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like, yeah, he wasn't quite, yeah. But of course, we get the classic line, and shout out to David Chase. He said I think he said a guy said this in high school, and it stuck with him forever. He knew if he ever had a chance, he would write this line somewhere. It's something like that, some kind of story like that. And so the fact that David Chase had this on tuck and brought this here, it's so fire to me. Like, come on, y'all. So remember when is the lowest form of conversation. And, pretty much they were OD on the remember when. They definitely were.
It made the point hit that much home though. I will agree with It's a really good line. Like
Yeah.
we've quoted it so many times. Like I know even as Sopranos fans, people that have watched this more than one time, I know you two guys have been having conversations and this has crept into your mind. I know it has.
Listen.
I've been
100%.
doing it. Like I've
Listen.
been home
Yeah.
through the holidays, homeboys I ain't talked to in a while, and they would talk, man, you remember like and in the back of my
Yeah.
mind, I'm
Yes.
hearing this. Like, remember when it like it's an influential cultural moment.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
it stuck with everybody who fuck with this show.
Yes.
Facts.
Bro,
Facts.
my wife even says this, and she ain't never watched the show.
Damn.
She's watched like 3 episodes, but like she'd be like, remember when it's a little formal conversation. Like she'll do that out of nowhere. But like I'll do it like on the joke, like I'll catch somebody like they're like, man, you remember when is the lowest form? Like I'll hit somebody, they're like, what you say? I done. Like just
It's
because it's
like,
so perfect to just
bro, it's like what Rich was saying earlier. You right there talking with your homeboys and you enjoying that conversation, and then this come up. Like in the back of your mind, you hear this, like, oh man, it make you feel stagnant or some shit
it
like
does
that.
it does well like it's like when you keep going back to the same things, you know. For me,
Hmm.
like I'm okay with we having nostalgic
That's a good
remember
point.
when, but it's like you keep going back. Hey, remember old girl? Bro, last time when I
That's a
came
good
three
point.
years ago, you talked about old girl, bro.
We
We've
talked
been
about
broke
we talked about this 2 years ago.
already. Like,
That's a
bro, it's
really
been
good
and that's
point.
on top of 20 years ago that
Right.
existed. So it's like, bro, stop.
Yeah, that's
I've
a good
had a
point.
real time thing where I had to say stop to like close family. I'm like, bro,
I
stop
can see
bringing
this.
this up.
I'm not gonna see Mo doing that shit.
Like
I
I
feel
serious,
it.
like, bro, I get
100%.
it. You know, that's where we
I could
remember
see Mo
things,
being like,
bro.
man, we talked about this
You
last
got
time, bro.
you got to stop, bro.
I can see him
We
really
talked
Cause
no
about
like,
this
stop.
last
well,
time.
cause really, what it is they'll give you the update on what she got going on. Like, hey, bro, you know, no, I don't. Like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't checked in, bro. I'm married. Like, I'm not in that zone, and I hope she's doing well. But like, bro, it's like we keep doing this. Remember, like, stop. So and then stop though. So you know, but yeah, that was just like the whole thing. Hey, man, you never know. You never believe this. Like, bro, please don't do this. Um. Anyway, Phil meets with Doc Santoro and he brings him an envelope. So I'm assuming Doc is the boss of the family at this present moment.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
took from it.
Okay. Uh so uh but Doc pretty much reaches his fork over and says, "Do you mind?" as he's asking about his wife. Bro, metaphorically, I want to fork your wife, is what I'm saying. Your wifey, your wifey. That's the way
Yeah,
I took it. Nah, but
that's that
seriously.
power move, man.
Yeah.
What's yours is mine.
Yeah.
Like I'm the boss. I run shit now, nigga. That's your plate. Nah, nigga, that's my plate. I'm gonna reach
Bro.
over. And there's a certain way you kind of. It's one thing to lift the fork up and still have
Yeah.
it close to you, and then ask. You already there,
Yeah, you're there. Like you got your
and
hand
you
in the
give.
bag of chips already.
He asked it in the way of I dare you to say no, because I'm the boss now.
Yo,
And like you said, I just asked about your wife, bro. Come on, what you doing, bro? And you know I don't even fuck with you like this. Like you
bro.
just got killed. You just got murked. Like I'm
And
gonna kill
Booksy
that
looking
nigga.
so crazy. That's why I'm gonna ask about a later decision made. Was that Phil or was that Booksy?
Nah, that
Right,
was Phil.
at that
The,
moment,
the,
Phil said,
the,
I'm killing this nigga tonight."
yeah,
But
the disgust that Phil had and looked into, like, it was 100%
well,
him.
you remember
Like,
Phil said, "Whack a boss." I won't do that.
He
yeah,
ain't
but
a real
this our
boss to
crew.
him.
Yeah, this ain't a
This
boss.
is yeah, this up for grabs. Like this is still in for the take. I
This still
decided to
can
take
be
my
my
name
shit.
out the yeah, I can't I took my name out the drawing. Now that you did this shit, you know what, I'm back in it.
Now you
Or
know
And the
remember the
fact,
last episode at the end, he really started talking about it.
and
the
his
fact
plate
that I
wasn't
even
even
have,
clear. Like, bro, that's what.
like, I got this much power that I'm able to do this. So yeah, I'm going to do it because you just pissed me off right here. And it wasn't again. I agree with Phil right here. Like, bro, don't ask me for shit off my plate. What are you talking about, nigga? No, you can't have none of this.
Nah, Phil
If
let it
it's an
slide though.
appetizer, if it's an appetizer, that's why he whacked him because he had to let him slide. Because you the boss or acting boss or the person you think you the boss. But like that's against man code. Like if we like that violates all man code. If we order an appetizer for the table, nigga, sure, eat what you want. But my entree, You want some of my entree, bro? Like, nah, that's for me and my girl out. And she like, oh, let me taste that.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, we can do that, but I can't do that with the homies. Like, nigga,
Y'all
you
ever seen
should
that
order.
Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce clip when they had the onion
Yeah,
rings?
yeah. Like, nigga,
That
nah,
nigga
nigga, you
kept
should
reaching up. He
order
said, "Nah,
some.
bro, order your own, bro." And
Like,
that nigga
get you
stood up. He
some,
was like,
bro.
"Yo, why
Like,
you standing up?" Like, bro, I'll stand up over these onion rings, bro. Stop. This my shit.
back off.
that's real shit though. Like
It is though.
that's very like alpha male back to the day
Yeah.
caveman shit. But it's like this is mine, bro. Like what the fuck are you asking for some of my shit for? And you think I'm supposed to give it to you just off some cool G shit? Like, nah, fuck that, nigga. You're not getting none of this.
Straight up. When it comes to food, like, what you doing,
Nah,
bro?
man.
The waiter came around just like he asked me the same way he asked you, bro. You should have ordered your shit then.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Don't wait till my shit come out. You talking about, "Ooh, that look good." I know, nigga. That's why I ordered it.
Man, that's why
Bro,
I
don't
got
even
it,
say
bro.
it look good, bro.
Right. Yeah,
Bro,
that's a good point.
bro, I ain't even gonna hold you. I'd rather buy you some than give you some of my shit. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
straight
like
up.
100%.
that's how I said. Like nigga, if you want to order these, nigga, put it on my tab. Get
Beat
your
it,
own, but
cocksucker.
don't touch mine. Yeah, don't touch my shit, my
Nah,
nigga.
yeah. It's in
That's some
my
real
cup.
shit.
It's my cup. And the
Yeah.
way Booksy looked, like, bro, you could have almost sworn a record did the Booksy put the paper down looking like, whoa,
Facts.
what?
Facts.
Cause he knew, like, I know this nigga just ain't do that shit. Like, what?
And Phil, the way Phil does it, like he's looking like you peasant, like, man, go ahead, bro. You that hungry. You ain't even finished your plate, but go ahead, bro. And he
I'm
sips
glad
that.
that.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
I
off.
just like how Phil, at first, I watched it and I really didn't like it. I'm like, because Phil, like he said, instead of being Leonardo, he's being Leotardo and he's letting stuff slide. But the way he did it, bro, you talk about real preservation. I said, yo, he's now really in boss bag because that preservation, like he just sipped his wine and like, nigga, I'm fumigating right now.
I love that we have women listeners that listen to this show that wrote in, that interact with us, and I hope they say something about this. But this is 100% a man thing. Like we can't explain it. It's very primal or whatever it may be. But no, nigga, you not getting nothing off my plate. What the fuck are you talking about? Again, I'm up enough to where I'll order this for you. You think it look good? It's cool. Like nigga, you can get your own, but nigga, stay away from my food, bro. Like it's
Bro.
really, this was great the way that they put this and to show the trajectory of what Phil was going to do for the rest of the season. It was very subtle. You had to understand. Like people have had to have been in this position, and I ain't even talk about mob boss. It's like men. Like when you out with men, like there's a certain conduct, of code that you have. Like bro, like nah, I'm not sharing my food with you, nigga. It's the kids and my girl.
Men that reach on other men's plates are the same niggas that open their mouth when the shrimp come in the hibachi. Same type of nigga.
They get they big Carmine Lupatazio.
Yeah.
Got
the egg salad in the mouth.
It's for me. At worst extent, my girl or my daughter or son or whatever it may be as far as kids. But nah, you can't have it.
Bro, listen, this man, Phil, he's like, man, nice gravy tonight, huh? He's like, yeah. Then Phil gives him, all right, here's your little taste. Gives him the envelope. And bro, I'm trying to dog walk you so crazy. Doc is nuts. I'm dog walk you so crazy. I got the envelope. And not only that, let me get that sausage off your plate. And how's Patricia? No, all that. Like, bro, you are a wild dude. He killed Jerry, remember? Like, just flat out and open, like, killed Jerry in front of, Seal because he wanted to be boss. Like, this man is crazy. Like, he would have been a terrible boss. Like, man.
I thought he was that nigga, bro. Like, hey, Jada, I forget if it was Jadakiss or Styles. They was on the song together called Dope Money, man. That nigga said, I ain't never met a nigga that's too live to die. Doc thought he was just too live that he couldn't be touched.
Yeah, he's like, it's
he
lit.
He thought everything around him was sweet. Like, bro, I'm setting this hit up right now. As soon as you reach over my plate and ask about my wife, that's when you signed your death certificate.
Facts.
And I like it because Booksy wanted to react, but again, Phil was just like, all right, that's cool. I remember that. Because, bro, I'm going to remember that type nigga.
This is why I always love, I would always love the scenes after the scene, right? I know it's a show, but in real life, I would love to see the scene of Butchie and Phil going back to the car.
Yeah.
Butchie be like, hey, man, what the fuck was that nigga on? Phil looking like, yup, set it up, Butchie. Set it up.
Yeah, make it happen. We whacking the captain today. I mean, we whacking the boss today.
Yeah, man, get this nigga up out of here.
Yeah, you got to go. Got to go. We're back with Corrado and Carter, and they're playing checkers. And Corrado begins whooping. Well, pretty much Brian comes over. Brian is at checkers, the thinking man's game. He's just getting all his.
Hey man,
telling a nigga checkers is a thinking man's game is so like you were so disrespectful, bro.
You a dickhead, bro.
Yeah,
you
are
a
like
dickhead.
everybody got conditions up in here, and like you don't give a damn about nobody conditions. You just hate him so much. Anyway,
I done hit that nigga with that chessboard, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you.
yeah, I need to.
This nigga say you looking for a smack in the fucking mouth.
Yeah, man, he mean that, like, bro, back up off me, you prick. And he's just standing there. He's like, "Oh, you're only tough, man. Good actor, good actor. Like, oh, you're only tough. Like, bro, we've met this guy before. You're only tough when the authorities around." He's like, "Man, Corrado,
I'll slap your shit right here. I promise."
Corrado turned into Junior. He's like, "Bro, listen to me.
I loved it.
I did too.
This was great.
And then you got the ad lib, like, get him, like from Chung. Like, come on, bro, stop playing the house shooting flipped off, nigga. All right, bro.
Yeah, stop playing with me, bro.
Yeah, like you.
All this shit seemed cool to you, and this a nursing home and whatever it may be, but still stop fucking playing with me, nigga. Like I'm finna show you what real life about. I may not be Tony Soprano or fucking any other one of the gangsters that we hold highly in this show, but I'm still Junior, and I'm more than you, bro. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you all the way through there, bro.
Yeah, stop playing with me,
all the way through there. Don't worry about it.
I love this. It's one of my favorite Junior moments.
Oh, absolutely.
I need that gangster shit at now.
Yeah, because Junior don't got a Mikey Palmisi doing his work.
No.
You know what I mean? He ain't got a Bobby Bacala going out and threat. He ain't got a Richie April that wants to be loyal to him from back in the day. Junior got to put in his own work, even in the nursing home. That's why this is one of the best, Junior Soprano scenes, period.
It's still willing to do it.
Yeah. It's like, man, bro, get out my face before I smack you in the mouth, nigga. Like, huh?
Like you must get you got this shit confused.
Yeah, man, you sipping his apple juice in peace. Like, bro.
Smack niggas for less.
Man. It was good. That was good. Also, we get a little meeting here, and they meet with the black nurse, and just like niggas, he's wearing the expensive watch to work. And then it's like he's trying to call it swap meet, pawn shop type vibes. And and then he tries to get out of the situation using it. It wouldn't be because of my skin color. I probably know the answer, but I gotta ask: have y'all ever used this in any scenario? It's like in a real way, not like just because they're joking, but like in a real way. Like, I know what this is. Like in some I don't think I ever have, but I mean, of course, maybe thought it, but I don't know if I ever vocalized like that line before. Like, are you doing this because I'm black? I
don't think I have. Probably.
That's a good question. Yeah, so. Never verbally have said it. I may have thought it before, like you said, but I ain't never been like, "Oh, it's because I'm black." I thought it before, but I ain't never said that.
Well, yeah.
You've said that before?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in a joking way, but never like seriously.
Yeah, jokingly maybe, but I've never said it seriously. No.
So yeah, we go to Tony's on the phone with Hesh, and he asked him for a Briggs loan of $200,000. Man, that is.
What y'all make of this?
What about the Briggs loan?
Setting up the next episode.
Of course, setting up the next episode. Of course, chasing it. You saying why? What made him even say to do that when it's really just about what's the next episode about? Like, in no real. Well,
because the last episode they also referenced Tony's gambling.
They did. So he did say so.
They building it up like, damn, this ain't no one-off episode thing. This nigga really gambling.
Tony need to feel something. He need to feel something, and he needs to do what excites him in being in at the end. He's looking at a possible RICO case being built on him. He's looking at somebody could flip against him. Tony's trying to do what he enjoys. That's why he's getting back into banging, Gumars and other women again. He's getting into gambling. Like, I think he's being strategic, but he's still trying to do the things that he enjoyed that makes him feel alive, which, and not chasing it, but in a later or Kennedy and Heidi, I think what he chooses to do in that episode is a part of giving him that feeling alive feeling. And crazy as it is, man, it could be compared to like a midlife crisis in some sense. You know, it can. It's like, man, how do I cope with all of this? It's like, bro, I need to feel alive. I need to feel lit. I need to feel like I'm still popping. I need to feel like something. I need to feel something. So, you know, all that I think is tied into it. But yeah, just a nugget for later. But yeah, Tony, and he also ends up having sex with the young lady and then smokes in the room. And, you know, this whole setup, you know, we see that Paulie has been talking again and admitted, I ain't gonna say that about Tony and his situation, but and admitted that he worked for Tony's father. Well, she had told, Paulie had said that to her or said it out loud that he had worked for Tony's father. And I think that's where the, you know, the like second thought, okay, you still talking. That's the third one actually, because he did it at breakfast, he did it with the at the hotel check-in, and now he did it there. So he's thinking, okay, he's gonna talk too much. Anyways,
and he did it. Remember, he did it at the table. I don't know if you referenced that when he said like the guys, um, some kind of crime. He was incriminating. That's what Tony was looking like. What the fuck is this nigga doing? Like, shut up,
bro. Oh, that's funny. So Corrado has a letter in his hands that says basically the president can't respond right now. Did Carter Chong write this letter?
Nah, it's a mandatory response that comes from the White House when you write those type of letters. Like they have some already templated out where you get those responses.
Mm. Wow. Okay.
So that's realistic.
Yeah. And then they got him on some new medication. Painkillers got a nigga about to doze off.
Hey, that gave Junior the good shit, bro.
Hey, listen,
He got the good shit,
bro.
nigga.
His jaw was open for so long, bro.
He twacked over in the corner, man.
Twacked. He's twacked. Like, but yeah. You see Carter looking, he's real concerned, man. And he's just like, man, that's that's my guy. Like, that's my old man, kind of like. He's real concerned. Like, I like him. He got his arms crossed. He's just like, man, what's going on? And you know,
Carter's dude. You right. Compare him to the doctor of last week with Johnny Sack. This is one of the best one-off characters. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Because I know some people like when Tony was in the hospital. Actually, I mean, it'd probably be black bias, but I did like the
Hill Harper.
No, the rapper that was like, well, we kept like, it hurts really bad.
Come on, baby boy.
Yeah, like really both of them, Trex and the rapper or whatever. But some people like that doctor that was there,
Lord Jamar, the one who was actually shot.
Yeah, but like some people like the doctor there. I forgot what his name was.
Lord Jamar been on these podcast microphones talking crazy, bro. That nigga been saying some wild shit recently.
That's what he do.
Yeah, that's what he do. Yeah. Man, trade, put him on $1 million worth of game and trade out Gilly. Yeah, I bet that'd be right where it need to be.
They'll get canceled.
Yeah, sure. They just canceled it from you saying it. They just canceled that shit.
You stupid.
Lord Jamar don't got no platform that's gonna be sustainable other than his own shit.
That's true. Tony and Paulie, they meet the guy for the racket beans he put them on, and I don't have much to add to this. Paulie jumps right out because dude's late, and this is what Paulie lives for. And Tony like, hold up, wait, hold up, like but Paulie's just like all in, and it's just nostalgic. And I wondered, and I don't know if y'all wondered, I wondered if Paulie was putting on a little bit because he's kind of in that remember when space where he's talking about my Uncle Paulie, and like I remember like, hey, he used to scare us by saying I'm gonna take you to your Uncle Paulie. So he feeling like I'm in that nostalgic bag. I don't know if Paulie was reacting in that way because I mean we'll get a later scene when Tony talks about Paulie about like, man, you can't believe this guy as old as he is, he's still like responding like So.
See, it's interesting. I didn't get that from this in the sense of I feel like Paulie. What we said in the previous scenes, it is what it is, bro. This is what I do. Like I'm a gangster, bro. Like I all that other shit, all the extracurricular shit that Tony trying to do to be a next level gangster and gangster for the new generation, that's cool. But I ain't got nothing to do with that. This is me. This is what I do, and this is how we handled this shit when I was doing it. I'm not going to change. I don't think that he was faking in any sort of way when he was doing this. Like this is who Paulie is. This is who you get. We go back again. I told you the grin would lay relevant throughout this episode. This is part of what that grin is about. This is how Tony sees Paulie. Like, no, I may not condone it or agree with it, but this is who you is. Like, we all have those homeboys where once something happens, it's up. Like, you know them, and you either love them or hate them for it, depending on the night or depending on where you at in life. But nigga, every time consistently, this is what I'm going to get from him, and I think Tony respects and appreciates that.
Especially when shit go down that's not supposed to go down.
Facts.
And they weren't expecting all these people to show up. It was supposed to be a little small meeting that Beansy set up. Then you got all these cars. That's why I'm like, what the fuck is this? And that's why Paulie said the line. Like, I guess everybody came except for Charo. Like, for those who don't know, that's like some Mexican or Spanish singer. They used to be on TV, but they had these big ass bands. Like, so everywhere they wasn't just a singer, these big bands would be with them all the time. So he was just saying, like, damn, who else we waiting on? All y'all motherfuckers came for this? So all of that's just, yeah, it says a lot about Paulie just being on alert. Like,
Another
this don't look right.
too.
Which part?
What you just said. Tying it into where you're coming from as far as the band thing, being a bunch of them, they all show,
Well, that was his point. Like, damn, like I said, they were looking at it as it's supposed to be 1-2 people max. Like, there's multiple. This isn't a multiple car kind of meeting, and we out of town. So Paulie just being on his P's and Q's, like, hold on, what the fuck is going on? And that's why Tony, like, hold on, Tony wants to observe and think about things. Paulie's like, no, I'm a gangster. Nigga, I've been a gangster since the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
That's how we handle shit. Like, we jump out and it's about action. It's up.
It's up.
What you gonna say? Oh. Yeah, great point. Great point. But I always just love them when they talk. I don't know why I just love when they talking deals. Like they're talking about, hey, no, how about we do this percentage? I don't know why I just love that part of the show. We don't get it like in super detail, but every time they talk about business, like trade-offs and stuff, I just love hearing it. It's probably because I'm a Shark Tank fan, like probably a lot of people that we just like to hear people talk, negotiate and kind of deal, basically. So that was cool.
It's like the stock market, man. It's all a risk. The only difference is in their line of work, if the risk don't work out in my favor, somebody's getting killed. Somebody's getting murked.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Corrado, he fakes taking his meds because of Carter Chong's distraction. The black nigga tries to get his act together to keep his job.
The black nigga.
He was the black nurse at first, but that use a nigga. You just a nigga. Nah,
I don't mean that in no good way.
I don't mean that in no good way.
And calling somebody a nigga and making sure they know you don't mean it in a good way.
As a black person telling a nigga, that's like
a black person telling another black person like you a nigga, and I don't mean that in no good way. It's one of the funniest things ever,
bruh. And the fact that it was D-Ray impersonating Bernie Mac.
And as black people, we all know what that means.
Yes.
Facts.
Use a nigga. And I don't mean that in a good way.
I don't mean it in no good way.
Oh, man. My guy picked it up where I left it off, man. That's good, Rich. That's really solid, bro. But yeah. The black nurse, he's trying to get his act together to keep his job because he's on child support and can't afford to lose his job. I made that up. But it's just funny how, like,
it adds up.
It does. It's just funny how that happens.
It really gives O's back child support.
Yeah, because he's definitely like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, huh?
That's not even that. That's you know what that is? That's an eighth on the way home. That's a bottle for the little shorty coming over. That's what that is. Because I was thinking about it when he took the $60. Yeah. And I'm thinking like $60 really don't do. Like, that's petty cash.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not about to risk my job for $60. And I'm like, you know what? That's the little.
That's 30 bottles. Yeah, that's a $30 bottle of tequila. That's the eighth.
That's the eighth for the night. We got to get shit jumping tonight. Yeah.
2007,
Yeah. He had a good night with that 60. That was, bro. He took the money he was gonna spend on that shit and did some other shit with it, bro.
Because look, then he get his act right, and Corrado's like, he's like, man, Nazi over here, like, he ain't really here. He's like, bro, look, because you know what it is when you're on the verge of like, yo, I got to get it together because they mess around and get me up out of here.
They finna
Like,
fire me.
yeah, they finna fire me. You know, we got that
I gotta
Spidey
straighten up.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta straighten up.
hey, black people got that Spidey sense when you know they about to get you up out of there, boy.
Yeah, I got tight.
I got two options, boy. I better start looking now, or
Either I give me another job or I start.
because we know, we just know.
Hey, that's funny as
Yeah,
hell.
man. So when he started doing that, it resonated so perfectly. That's why I said this black character resonates perfect because it's like, bro, that is definitely black consistency right there.
That's how it goes.
Yes,
Y'all wondering, that's how we feel.
Yep.
He definitely did the same thing.
Don't count my money, nigga.
Counting my money, nigga. Straight up.
Yeah. Tony and Beansy talking. This is the scene I've been waiting to get to. So such an insightful scene. So Tony, you know, they're going back and forth and they're talking about Paulie. He's a motor mouth 24/7, yada, 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 yada. He talks too much. And, you know, Beansy talks about like how that's how Paulie's always been. And, you know, and he tells him like, look, like Paulie, all he has is, you know, you guys, this thing in his image, you know, versus what you have, you know, and Tony says, man, I love him, but I have concerns because of him talking too much. And he says, has he truly been put to the test? And man, is that echoing through the episode just like the smirk. Anything I want to add to this conversation? Because this is definitely art in the running for best scene in the episode.
I was really just gonna say everything you pointed out, Mo. It just gives you the insight on Paulie, kind of what we've been talking about the entire episode. Like living that gangster life and what you do is cool. Even Paulie has said it. Our thing in marriage doesn't mix the whole nine.
Yeah. Yep. Good callback.
But you also, it's going back to the whole remember when theme. Nobody wants to be alone and by themselves. Nobody wants to go. Something happened and it takes days or somebody. If you don't have anybody that you talk to every day or check in on you, who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows when somebody might find you? The whole nine. Nobody wants that. You think that you're gonna be young forever, or even the mindset you think you'll be able to take care of yourself because you've been doing it your whole life, and then one day you can't. Right, and it just comes at you real fast. So that insight of everything, and basically letting Tony, he needed that outside perspective of like, bro, come on, man, Paulie, not Paulie. From one OG to another, I'm telling you, Paulie ain't like that. This man's just getting older. He ain't got nobody. He's nothing. All he has is you. You have Carmelo, you have Meadow, you have AJ as much as a dipshit that he is.
Yeah.
You have other things to pull from, but Paulie ain't got that, bro. If y'all treat him like shit, then his life is shit. So it's great insight from that perspective. And it also gives you insight on Tony's mindset, which is, I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. Like, I'm at the top. Like, this don't affect nobody but me. I'm the one affected by this. I can't take any chances. Once again, the Wire jail scene in season 5 with Marlo and the crew. Like, you willing to take that risk? Nah, bro, I'm really not. If it means me spending my life in jail or Paulie might be a problem, we got to get rid of him, chances are I'm gonna lean towards getting Paulie up out of here.
Good point.
Regardless of what kind of history he has, bruh. It's too much of a risk.
That's a great point. I think that one of the things that they wanted us to understand as viewers is that's the new age generation thinking, and that's why we are at the end of these things. Like Paulie isn't going to be the dude that go in there and snitch. At least with everything that they presented to us with, that would never happen. I hate to say never, but that would never happen. Like, so the fact that Tony is even thinking that shows us again that key theme that we keep saying when we get close to the end of these episodes is we at the end of things. Like Beansy trying to tell him, like, bro, like you off on this. This ain't what this is. Like, he's just a different type of dude from you. He's from a different type of generation. When he get there in front of those, and I say this because of everything that we've talked about throughout this episode, when he get there in front of those things that are going to make him want to snitch or get out of character, he's not going to do it because this is what I am, bro. And Tony kind of recognizes that. He kind of understands that, but he really don't believe in it. Yeah. So he don't believe in this thing that we do, is what he's saying. Because Paulie is he's the epitome. He's the epitome of what we do.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason that you had the smirk in the beginning.
And in
Because
the
that's
end
the
too.
nigga. Yeah, you looking at those pictures that he broke. Like that's the epitome of what we do. And you saying, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it. I still think that
Wow.
because I've took it to this next step, that it's going to be different, and he's going to have to change, or excuse me, not have to change, but he may say something. Like, no, nigga, Paulie is not the dude that snitches. It's
But
the
you
other niggas that you would need to be watching out for,
but you
and you
know
don't
who
even notice them.
messed that up for him?
Who?
Puss.
Pussy. Yeah.
Because that he would never thought like
And that's a great point. But even with pussy, that's not Paulie though.
no, it ain't Paulie. But
He's a pretend version. He's a pretend version of that. He's a version of Paulie only if it goes so far. Paulie is the 100%
oh, absolutely.
true version of
Soldier.
what this thing is that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a later scene that's going to happen when we talk about it. I'll dive more into it. When Paulie is like, nah, like that ain't what I've been here for.
Mm-hmm.
When Tony makes him an offer, like I ain't trying to do none of
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah,
knew Paulie knew in the beginning, this
yeah,
is what I do, bro.
yeah, yeah.
And Tony doesn't recognize it. He don't understand that because he has more ambition than Paulie. And that's why it makes it difficult for him to trust him because Paulie doesn't have the ambition that Tony has.
Mm. No, you make a solid point the whole way through. And that last scene, when we get to that scene that you're talking about, I look forward to that too.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
It's really, really good. Dang, there was one thing I just wanted to add to that. Yeah, it's like, well, okay, so yeah, like you said, just all the things you said, and just like Beans is like, bro, he don't have what you have. Paulie doesn't have anything to lose, so he's
Mm-mm.
not liable to snitch just to be free. He ain't to be free for what? He doesn't make money like that. He just likes being around this thing. He likes to be a part of
And
this
that's
thing, and that's what
you're
Beans is
right.
trying to tell him. Like you, like honestly, Tony, you would probably be closer to flipping
Facts. And
because
that's
you
what
got a
Tony
family.
Tony don't understand it. Tony don't understand like how could this dude not have nothing to lose? I can't wrap my mind around him not saying nothing for his freedom.
Yeah,
And the whole time Paulie looking at it like, what freedom? What the fuck are you talking about, nigga? Like if they come get me, that's what's supposed to happen because
yeah,
that's what I
that's how I
signed
go.
up for.
Yeah, that's
That's
Paulie.
what we do. And that's Paulie. Like
Mm-hmm.
he ain't never steered away from that in any one of the seasons from this. And I think that's why this episode is so good because it shows like there's a lack the reason the phrase of what we keep saying is we're at the end of this thing. The reason is that we're in at the end of this thing is because there's a generational divide as far as people like Paulie and people like Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's old
There are
enough to
people
be
like
his
Tony.
father too.
Yeah,
Like
there
so.
are people like Tony who are going to take this thing to the next generation. There's people like Paulie who are like, nah, it don't. It ain't even supposed to go there, bro.
Mm,
I don't even know what you're trying to do. That
mm-hmm,
that ain't what we do.
mm, yeah, man. This
Great point.
is a great scene. I knew this scene would bring a lot of that out of it because it's such a wonderful scene.
It really is.
Uh, and that last thing he says, has he really been put to the test, which kind of left him a little speechless. And remember when Paulie and Feach got into it, he said, "In my book, you get more points for staying out of the can."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just an interesting. Remember when uh Tony goes back to the hotel and Sil calls to tell him that Larry Boy told them that what a twist that Jackie Aprile alone whacked Willie overalls, and Tony isn't really wanting to celebrate this, but Sil says for now. And now mind y'all, Tony has gotten away with just a little bit ago. He just got away with a gun charge that they're gonna steamroll in the RICO. But Tony has gotten away with murder through the series, racketeering, extortion, money laundering, illegal gambling operation, drug trafficking, intimidation. Like he's gotten away with a lot, bro. Like you know what I mean? And it seems like it is starting to weigh where it's like, man, you can celebrate for now, but I think Tony's even starting to maybe buy into that Carmella mindset where it is kind of like you want to enjoy, but it's like how many times you gonna keep getting off the hook, which is why Made in America. When we get there, we'll have a conversation because I'm okay with whatever we want to theorize it as. So
Can't stop
believe
believing.
it. Um, but yeah, and then Tony just kind of creeps around and hears Paulie laughing ridiculously.
Shouldn't piss me off, bro.
But why is Tony like? Okay, so it's just Jai asked for this. I ain't gonna be long. I know we're getting towards the end. Tony looking at him,
Ha!
Paulie.
Look what you see what you did there.
My guy's locked in. Tony's looking at him, and then there's this face Tony does where it almost looks like he like get kind of mad. Like, did it seem like Tony was like, okay, now that we off the hook with the Willie overalls thing, I'm about to get in the space of I'm about to find out if I need to whack him because I can't take no more chances on getting caught. He might be a loose end. Did y'all feel like he was looking like that? Because obviously the morning scene comes, you know.
Yeah, I felt like this is how they was trying to write it. I don't think it made sense though. This is one of my least favorite ventures that they go on in
Okay.
The Sopranos. Like I 100% feel like yes, we're forcing this upon you as fans because you guys know what type of show this is, but I didn't ever think that it made sense or that Tony would do something like that.
Uh, I'm trying to think of how I can explain this. There's a I can't explain it unless you've seen this clip. I took it this as just Tony. There's always somebody who just got those things about him. And you're just like, this motherfucker, man. You don't really mean nothing about it. Sometimes you don't even recognize that you're doing it. That you don't even recognize that you're showing disgust or disdain. And that's kind of what it was. There's a catcher, man. Baseball catcher, no veto. His name's JT. His name's JT Real.
Shout
His
out to
name's
Joseph.
JT Real. Yeah, JT Real. Hey, speaking of Joseph, I just got to shout this out because I thought it was funny. He posted a picture of him throwing out the first pitch, maybe at a Mets game, and he put the caption like proof that I was pitching and not catching. I
Oh
thought that was
man,
funny.
that's
That's good.
funny.
That's really good.
But there's this. I'll send it to y'all, and if anybody else wants, y'all can hit me up. It's nothing crazy. JT Realmuto, I don't know if he still catches for the Philadelphia Phillies, but there's a scene of this relief pitcher coming in the game, and he's sprinting out there. You can just tell that nobody likes this motherfucker. And they had this image of JT Realmuto just he's waiting for the dude to come. He just kind of gives his like eye roll, like what the fuck, man. Like it's very subtle, but it's one of those like, I really can't you for no reason other than
The
seeing
backup
this
pitcher.
motherfucker. Yes, no, this is the picture. He's doing this to the backup. Yeah, he's doing this to the backup
He
pitcher.
has the backup pitcher comes out.
The catcher has this reaction to him. But it's just one of those things when you see somebody, you don't even know you're doing it, but you automatically, man, I can't stand this motherfucker. Like this, everything about him irks my soul.
Oh,
And I think that's what he
got
was doing
somebody
to
like
Tony.
that right now.
I think that's what he was just. I think that's what Tony was doing to Paulie. Just like, man, this like he can't help it. Like he's such a good dude, but he can't help to get on my nerves.
It's so much like this Paulie Tony relationship. It's just such a. I mean, because they even talked about the pie on my picture and everything. And Tony first thought it was a joke, but then realized I don't think it was a joke to him. So it's this love hate thing that Tony really has for him. I looked up to you, my Uncle Paulie. I once thought that I would have wanted him to be my father, but then on the other side, like I can't stand this nigga, even when I was in a coma. So it's one of the most complex relationships that, again, that's probably a back of the bean conversation. I look forward to having the more complicated conversations about particular characters on the back of the beans. That's what I'm looking forward to, because now we isolate everything else and we focus in on that. That will be a challenge a little bit because it's like we've consumed so much of this and so many different, whatever. But that's why we're gonna take quite a while off. But anyways, yeah. Let me see. So we get through the morning after, and Tony and Paulie relax in the sun, and Tony says that they should go sport fish and rent a boat. And here we go. So a few more scenes kind of time together. Corrado is telling them jokes, and then he was about to pee, and he's like, "Hey, come on, one more joke." And then Carter Chung helps him finish it, and Corrado pees on himself, and then that pretty much clues them in that oh, you couldn't have took your medicine because that would have never happened otherwise.
You want to go to jail or you want to go home? The doctor looked at him and said, "Listen, if you want, you don't got to take your meds, but we're gonna transfer you up out of here, or you can take your meds and stay here, eating your Kit Kats, drinking your tea."
Facts.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Then pretty much Corrado, he takes his meds, and Carter Chong seems to be affected by this. You know, it just makes you like, man, what happened in the Chong house, bro? You know, um, but yeah,
We all got a story.
we all got a story.
And
Everybody ghetto beef.
Junior was over this shit, bro. Like, bro, I ain't trying to do. I'm pissing on myself in front of people. I can't like. Nah, I'm over this shit. I ain't young as you. I ain't trying to. Again, I don't know how, if people are taking shots to listen to this episode and say every time end at the end that we say it.
Yeah,
This is another one of those things.
they
Like
be
Junior,
drunk by
like,
now.
bro, I'm over this shit, bro. Like, I ain't finna fake taking my meds. Like, it's over. It's a wrap. I've accepted it. I ain't
Yeah,
25 like you.
yeah. If I'm falling asleep, I'm just falling asleep, bro. Like,
That's it, bro. I'm
it's
80. I'm fucking 80, 90 years old, bro. Like, that's what it is. Like,
yeah,
I'm not, yeah.
yeah. Good point. I won't fight no more. I won't fight no more.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Tony and Paulie, they get on a boat, and Paulie's reminiscing about Big P being whacked. That's a quick little brief moment there. Carter Chong and Corrado talk, or Junior, and he calls him Anthony, and Carter notices this, and then he's talking and thinking about his dad and his grandpa, and says that his grandpa he says he's a lion. I'm gonna come back to that. Then we get back to Tony and Paulie on the boat, and Paulie, man, Paulie in there, Paulie whipping up in there, ain't he? You know what I mean? Up in there whipping
Yeah,
the
man. Reckon Tony
rigatoni.
It's a crazy meal.
Paulie.
Yeah, that's a crazy meal to make on the boat.
Yeah, on the boat is crap. Wow.
It kind of is, yeah. Like, you make a nice little sub or something, bro.
Right. Cool little club sandwich.
Yeah, look, that quick little
little
assemble some
Caesar
stuff together.
salad,
Little Caesar
Cobb
wrap,
salad,
give
something
me a
like
little
that.
wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The full pasta joint with the sauce.
Cheese,
it's
and
crazy.
beef,
Parmesan cheese, all of that.
That's some real. And it's not hard to make. It's just I can't picture you putting ground beef in a skillet. That's the part I can't. I can see the boiling, I guess, some noodles.
Even if it ain't no ground beef, like for the sauce to be good, it take a minute.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just, you ain't just pouring ragu out of a jar and pouring it on top of pasta sauce and
No, not with
expecting it
these
to be
guys.
good. Like, yeah, exactly. So it took a minute for that shit to be made.
Yeah, it makes sense though. Paulie being independent all his life, so of course he would know how to cook, right?
Facts.
So yeah, Tony is grilling Paulie, trying to get him to say he told the joke, but Paulie's doing man. Paulie did such a good job.
Would y'all have voted?
Nah. Especially knowing what we did to P out here and what you about to come on, bro.
Nah, yeah, I don't care what it is. My biggest thing
like
would
I said,
be
the only person
try not to smirk. Like
I said, the only person that would that can discredit my story is already dead. Like, why would I ever tell him?
That's not true. Little Paulie.
I don't think there's a situation.
Little Paulie is the one who he told it to.
I get that, but
Little Paulie
the only way that
Johnny
Sack knows, though, is if
okay, so right. Well, little Paulie can't validate that
he told
Johnny Sack, but he did tell Paulie the joke. So
Paulie, that don't mean shit.
And Paulie wasn't there, right?
Nah, he was in jail.
That's what you say. Okay, got you.
Okay, fair enough. You're right, Rick. Yeah, you're right. Because he couldn't validate. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he told me, but that don't mean I told you.
Yeah, you ain't got no substantial evidence, really. So
does it? So question for y'all: does this speak more to Paulie or Tony? Because Paulie is doing this out of self-preservation. Like, I know you. Again, we talked about it earlier in this episode. I know how the type of person you is and how you maneuver. And I've not survived this long by being as gullible as you're trying to get me to be and tell you this, that I told you this. I know it's something as small as a joke, but still, I know who you are. So does this speak more to how you view Paulie or how you view Tony?
This speaks more to how First few times I thought Tony was bloodthirsty. Because when I watched it the second time, I took into account the psychological diagnosis and made me think, okay, you're a little bloodthirsty. It's been so long since you actually got to whack somebody. You go back to the ride with him and Chris, how happy they were to rob some people. It made me almost think like, bro, you're a little bloodthirsty. Just you want to whack somebody because that was a part of the business. I don't know. In the old time, now I don't look at it like that. It speaks more to Paulie now to me that
I think
I
think it speaks to Tony's paranoia.
Okay.
Tony's so paranoid that he thinks that one of the most, the guy who was the poster child of gangster, he could be a problem. Like all in all, you're getting rid of your best people as we get towards the end of the episode. Like if it was guys like him are the reason we can live this kind of lifestyle, because you're paranoid about being at the top, having people around you that you trusted, a la Chris, realize they ain't shit, and I'm really in here by myself. That's all that was to me. I don't think it was anything about him wanting that need to kill. It was just more so I'm going crazy. I think Tony's going crazy. Like I don't even know what to do. Everything seems like everything's another reason for me to go to jail, and I'm not trying to get that. But to the whole point, what the fuck do you think comes from this?
Yes, these are the last days of a mafia boss.
Yeah.
I'm suspecting everybody. I'm turning over. Like if you look at BMF documentaries, if you look at Nicky Barnes documentaries, like I'm at the last days and I'm turning over every stone that I wouldn't have ever turned over before. And I think that's the situation that we have with Tony and Paulie right here. Like I'm not sure what he thought about, if he thought that Paulie was really a threat, but it's just the paranoia of it, like Rich said. Like that's the thing, that he's going crazy. He's literally going crazy right now. But they did such they did such a good job of writing this and telling this as a story as to where we as fans kind of side with Tony. Like, I don't know, he might be a loose end though. But he's not. Like he's not. He's not a loose end. But they did a very good story of telling it and building it up to this scene as to where you thought Tony may kill him because he thought he was a loose end, but genuinely he's not.
Well, Tony put him to the test.
I was about to pull a Mo and ask, do y'all remember the tension of watching this for the first time and wondering, is this nigga about to kill Paul?
What's gonna happen? Yes,
bro. They got us. They got us on that first run, bro.
Yep.
And you know, the boat bouncing up and down, I know that people have talked about that. Like that's like a reflection that's very intentional as far as the will he, won't he thing. That like, is it up? Is it down? What's the decision going to be made? You know, Rich is real slick cinematography there.
He's mad. Like Tony's at 50 minutes and 40 seconds, 39 seconds. Tony's mad. He hits the boat because he knows he can't kill Paulie. That's how paranoid he is. He wants to do it.
That's what made me think he was bloodthirsty, though. That's
how I took that in another way. I'm great that you said that more. I took that in the sense of the thing that Carmella alludes to. Like, these people are not your real friends. They're not gonna tell you the truth. Like you're looking for a genuine moment with this dude who's a gangster, who we've talked about has survived this many generations of being a gangster, and you're asking him to let the guard down and be real with you. I can't do that, nigga. That's not what we do. That's not a part of the job. A part of the job is when you ask me this, I'm telling you what I think you want to hear versus what really happened. And that frustrates the shit out of Tony. He don't know where I'm like. He's at a genuine confusion about where he's at right now because he can't process, damn, I've been looking up to this dude. This is my guy. We went on this road trip and he still can't tell me the truth. It's like when he told the joke and everybody laughed and he knew it wasn't funny. That's what this is like.
Tony could have whacked him and still said he said it.
What do you mean?
He could have said he admitted that he told the joke.
What's that gonna prove to anybody else?
What's
that ain't gonna prove shit though.
Nah,
like for Tony personally, that don't prove shit.
No, it ain't about to prove. It's about, I know now that's one less person that can be running their mouth on my behalf.
So you saying if he admitted saying,
No,
yeah, I told him
not
how he said.
admitting. Tony could just whack them and say, I asked him, and Paulie said it. He could have been, could have just lied and been comfortable.
Who would
like,
he tell that to though?
See, like they'd be like, well, what happened? You and Paulie
I
was
don't
on a
think
road trip.
if he do
They was
something
like,
if he do something to Paulie right here, I don't think he ever admits it.
Well,
To
he
Tony, this
he
would
got to explain what happened to Paulie.
Tony, this would have been an accident. Some crazy happened, whatever
Okay,
kind of
yeah,
excuse he
maybe.
need to make up. This would have been an accident, but it would have never been. I thought that he was this, and I did this because I thought that he was a threat to this.
It
That
ain't no
would
I
have never
thought. He would have
happened.
never said I thought. It would have been, yeah, the freaking prick admitted that he told the joke and got to running his mouth too much, telling people about this.
That ain't, you can't kill nobody over that though. That's a personal thing. That ain't business. That ain't family oriented as far as what we do.
But I'm
Like,
saying
I can't kill you because you did this thing that made me feel unappreciative of you or less whatever respectful of you as far as you being able to keep your mouth shut. I can't kill you because of that. You're a made man. Like, it has to be something concrete.
not really. He killed over a horse.
And never admitted it though. He never admitted it.
Okay,
though.
well that's what I'm saying.
It was always on the thing. Like, he would have did the same thing right here with
Okay,
Paulie.
so he would have whacked
and-
Paulie, but not admitted, that he whacked.
That's the great thing that you bring up about this scene. We, as viewers, we look at this like, oh, this is gonna be a Ralph Cifaretto type.
Oh, you
moment.
definitely thought that.
That's what you were thinking in real time.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
this is gonna be some Ralph type shit. But again, he would have had to have said, like, there was an accident, this happened, we were out there. It wouldn't have never been because
He would have lost all
believed that
morale too.
Yeah.
Because he already
It's Paulie.
He's lost a lot of he lost a lot of morale when Bobby got shot, in the eye. He didn't go visit him when he was trying to convince people to let Vito ride, pause, and just forget all of that. And they still was looking at him funny. Like, he's lost a lot of morale here lately, and that's where I think the paranoia kicks in. Because even Paulie was like, "Bro, we doing this for real? We gonna let So yeah, great point, man. That's what makes the show so good. We can all theorize over and over about like what was going through, Tony's mind. We get Corrado and the rest of the patients. They're singing with the rest of everybody, and Carter Chong. He's throwing a paper ball. He's just trying to get off and do what he does, just like being bad, I guess. And Junior basically hit him with the man that's like, nah, cut it. Like, he hits him with the gesture, like, nah, cut that. And Carter Chong gets so mad, bro. This man pushes somebody out the way, Brian out the way, runs over, and he punches Junior, throws his head to the wall, punches him in the side, chokes him up with no glasses on. Like, bro, shout out to Dominic, because he's really an old man, and he gotta get physical, or maybe it is a stunt double. I don't know, but if he did do the stunt, man, shout out to him.
Yeah, he worked, Junior. I didn't like this. I remember the first time that I seen this, and I was like, I don't like this, bro.
Did you say did who do the stunt? My fault, Spike.
Did Dominic do the
Nah,
stunt?
you could tell the dude. It's not Dominic. It's a different actor.
All right.
But yeah, this was fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was.
How fucked up it got to be to feel bad for Junior?
I wouldn't say that. Junior's not like that kind of character to me.
What?
I agree with Rich.
Fuck,
he worked Junior.
Because they do every character like that. At one point, we felt bad for every character with the exception of AJ.
Nah, I love Junior, but fuck Junior.
No, I get you. But
he deserved this. He deserved all
let me say, I would say AJ and Livia. Like, I never felt bad for Livia either.
But Junior deserved this, right? Are y'all in agreement with that?
Okay, see, and that's what Sopranos do well. They make you forget,
Deserve
like, bro,
got
he
nothing to
shot
do
his
with it.
nephew. Say it again.
I said deserve got nothing to do with it.
Hit it with the accent.
Hit it with that's that Baltimore.
I mean, he, in a sense, he did not for this crime, but he does deserve it. That's what Sopranos does well. It's like Tony whacks Ralph at a time where we're like, bro, his son is in the hospital. What are you doing? This man is going through it. But if you rewind a few episodes ago, he just killed his pregnant stripper girlfriend, like, to a bloody pulp. That's what Sopranos just does so freaking well. Like, they make you almost forget. Like, Paulie was lying so well on the boat. I'm like, damn, did he tell Johnny? Like just a slight bit, like even though we've seen it and witnessed it, there's a piece of me that, like, he's lying so well. I'm almost like, dang, I gotta go back and say, what did he did he really tell, So that's what Sopranos do well. It's like Corrado, like, oh, he's an old man, he's getting beat up. It's like, yo, this is the same man that shot his nephew at the very beginning of the season. And then conspired to whack his nephew with his mother in the first couple seasons.
And not to mention, to be present, he's trying to manipulate the dude to beat him up. Like, you working for me, I'm manipulating you, like all of the previous relationships that I have as a mob boss and people outside on the streets. Like, you just another wheel in the car. Like,
Yeah.
you're just another cog in the wheel.
Yeah, you don't mean nothing
Yeah.
like to me, like
Yeah,
you think,
you're
like I
nothing to
mean to
me.
you.
And he realized that. And that's the same way his dad made him feel.
Yeah. Yeah. The way his dad made him feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. Y'all, man, email us in if y'all got some info on Carter Chung, man. Email us in. We go to Paulie is having a dream and he sees Big P and asks when his time comes, will he stand up again, tying in this stand-up theme of the episode. Just keeping that, and I would just say keep that line on tuck. Not the stand-up thing, but the whole thing. When my time comes when I stand up. I say that with Paulie because, like I said, we'll theorize and talk about different theories when we get closer to the end of this thing. I'm gonna tie these last few scenes in together. Tony and Carmela. Paulie sends them a $200,000. No, 2,000. No. I'm sorry, $2,000 espresso machine. Butchie and the boys shoot Doc in the face. I guess did Phil order this or not, but obviously, I guess, like I said, Phil did. We get a back of the bean. Paulie is talking too much as usual, but there's a subtle thing with him and Tony. Are we good? Kind of thing. And Tony's like, yeah, kind of like we're good. And of course, and then the patients are all outside, and Corrado is petting the kitten. Anything between those last 5 scenes: Paulie Dream, Tony, Carmela with the espresso, Butchie and the boys whack Doc, back at the bean with the news thing on, and the patients outside, as well as Junior petting the kitten. Anything between those 5 scenes that stood out to y'all?
The biggest thing for me is the assassination. Let you know the power vacuum is going on in New York. It makes a lot of what happens throughout this season a lot more believable. There is no Johnny Sack. There is no what's his name?
Carmine.
Yeah, there's no Carmine. Like, these people aren't in place to make sure that everything is running smooth. So we have this vacuum of power, and I like how they do that and not focus too much on it to try to make us understand it as viewers, but they can give us a quick glimpse of, like, this is what's going on. Like, niggas that are supposed to be in line, we've seen with the news program for the other show. For this show, we see him going to the car and getting shot. Like, niggas that are in line to be bosses, they're getting killed. There's a power vacuum that's happening, and it plays out and makes so much sense in the later episodes. So I appreciate that.
Say you, Rich.
That assassination was a lot like the highly mimicked the Castellano hit.
Mm-hmm.
So they shot that in that way.
John got it.
But yeah, most of it is just kind of the change of power, and then going to Junior at the end, man. Junior's just that's him. That's what he is now. Remember when he used to be? We literally saw a photo of Junior from back in the day, like back when he was in the streets running around, had some power, and now it's getting beat up by Carter, and that's what his life is. That's how we gonna remember him. Talk about remember when, but we remember him like this now.
Yeah.
The mighty have fallen.
Good callback. I still wish Junior would have got another love interest. That's always going to be one of the things for me. Like, after Roberta, they just kind of left him there. Anyway, as far as the last 5 scenes, there was a line that Tony had said up to Carmela. I don't have it verbatim, but she was like, "Hey, it's guys like him that allow us to be able to have the things that we have." Because now he has the same, like Spike said, the same sentiment he had at the beginning with the smirk. He gets back to the same conclusion here. which is why I think that last scene that we'll get to at the end of the series hits a little different. I was glad they whacked Doc. As far as the back of the bean thing, it was kind of whatever. But the patient, when the patients were outside and Junior was petting the cat, one Carter Chong said his grandpa was a lion, which is a feline, and him petting the cat. I don't know if there's some kind of tie-in. Again, this is not that type of podcast. It was just something interesting I found. And also, there's a later character that is compared to a cat in the end of this season. And then also, Big Pussy came in the episode a few times. Pussycat.
Yeah, that's that Junior Little Pussy.
That's
what he is now.
Yeah. Pussy Malanga. And that's our episode. So before we get out of here, of course, y'all, we can't leave y'all without the rankings because that's just what we do here on this pod called Good Earners. So without further ado, Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode?
This is a made episode.
Okay, elaborate.
All of the things that were set up from this episode, how subtly it done end at the end, and that was something that we were talking about in season 1. And with most of the scenes, most of the characters, it played out like we saw it. If you were really paying attention, if you watched The Sopranos more than 2 times, like you could see how all of this shit plays out, and it's so beautifully done. So I give it that.
A made episode. All right, Rich, what about you?
It's a good earner. It's a lot of fun to talk about. This is gonna be one of those episodes when we finish, I'm gonna look back and like, man, did I get this the right rating? It can very well be a made, but right now it's a good earner. The conversation is actually a lot more intriguing than what I thought it would be.
Me too.
Compared to when you watch it by yourself and you don't have anybody to really talk to and bounce ideas off of. So that's why I'm really thinking about it. So right now I'm gonna say good earners. This could be one where I look back and like, you know what? I'm tripping. This should be a made. I'm definitely not gonna argue with a made. I'm just not there yet.
And just to add on to it more, before you go, like usually we do these shows and then I'll wait at some point in the week when I got time to watch the next episode. As soon as we get done, I'm going to go watch the next episode because I can't remember how this played into what's going to happen next because I haven't cheated and looked ahead. Of course, I've seen it before and I know what happens, but still, this was one of those episodes as to why I gave it a made in the sense of I really want to see what happens next. There are things on TV that I could be watching right now that are occurring that I want to see. Like we talked about a couple episodes of, a couple TV shows of other stuff before. But the first thing that I'm going to do when we get through recording tonight, because I ain't got much to do, I'm going to watch the next episode. That's what makes it made for me.
Okay. It's just another envelope, man. This is
Jesus Christ.
This episode.
This is the farthest discrepancy we had.
Nah, the last episode we did where you didn't give it a made was, bro. Like, what is you talking about?
But we got all 3 ratings on this. I don't know if it's ever happened.
No.
I don't know if it's ever happened where we had all.
I may have
ratings.
to look back to some of our rankings. That is an interesting factor, but it's just another envelope for me because this one doesn't. This is one of those episodes that benefits from first watch. The B storyline is okay because you're so drawn to the A storyline in your first watch. You're like, okay, whatever Corrado's doing or Junior and them, they're doing whatever they're doing over there at the facility. You're not bothered by it as much in that first watch because you're like, is Tony gonna kill Paulie because he's getting more annoyed, he's getting more mad. It feels it's getting intense, it's working towards something till we finally get on the boat. And you're like, oh my God, this is it. He's looking at the blade, he's looking at come on, you told that joke. Like but after you know what's gonna happen, it's not really a ton that goes on. And it's like I think the Junior storyline hurts this episode dramatically. As much as I like the one-off Carter Chong character, it's a lot of filler, and I don't care that much about this is another condition that the mob guys go through. Like it's boring. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not interesting at all. It's borderline. It's
Boring. Really? Shout out to Andre 3 Stacks, man.
Yeah, shout out to 3K. So it's just another vote for me. Spike, who gets the good earner chain for this episode?
The good earner chain for this episode to me goes to what's the Chinese kid's name? Carter.
Carter Chong, yeah.
Yeah, Carter.
Hey, might as well.
He's
one
still
off.
on business. He's still on business.
He
man.
did
all episode.
With his mom, everybody. Like, listen,
mom with Junior, with everybody. He's still on business, and I respect that.
That's true. Hey, he ain't gonna get it nowhere else. So what a perfect episode.
Facts.
Rich, who gets the good earner chain?
I was conflicted on this one, but I'm gonna give it to him anyway. I'm gonna give it to Larry Barisi, man.
Hey, he came through. He came
hitting
through.
The curveball, man. Hitting him with the Jackie Aprile. So this is somebody that can't get it. Only reason I was conflicted is because you're talking to the boys anyway. But if you knowingly talking to them and feeding them bad information, then
I'm just saying
you're talking to y'all, giving whatever. Yeah, Jackie did that. Sure, nobody can take the fall. I got to give it to Larry for thinking on his feet.
That's good. I got to go to Black Nurse, man. A real nigga through and through.
Real nigga.
Hey, I'm finessing you off the photos. I'm finessing you off the watch. I'm about to finesse you off these sodas and candy. Like, don't count my money, nigga.
I can see you doing that, bro. I can see you doing that too.
He was getting it off. Like, he's definitely a good one-off character because he was getting it off this episode, and it felt good to see somebody that felt realistic in this world with, obviously Italian mafia. So I liked him a lot, really. So yeah, the Black Nurse.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Spike, who gets
even though he got fired.
He got fired, but niggas get fired. You know how we do. We turn around, man. We get another job. Next couple of days or whatever.
Also, just a real quick nominee or honorable mention for a good earner. Beansy, man. Beansy done moved down to Miami. Got a nice crib, setting up plays.
And his girl she was all right too.
That's the same wife from when he was up there. They was building the ramp. Like, I just shout out to Beansy and the life he's made and built down in Miami after everything that's happened, man.
You're right, man. Damn, that would have been a good.
And I meant to bring up earlier just how surface level shit can be sometimes. Because remember, old girl said Peter, and Tony was like, Peter, like Beansy, like that's how niggas are, man. Niggas will, like, they will call you by your nickname for 40 years and be like, what's it? I didn't even know that was your real name, bro.
Yeah, I think that's Paulie's real name too.
What's that?
Peter.
Oh yeah, I think his mom's Peter.
Ironically enough.
Or it might be a middle name, whatever the case is.
Something like that, yeah. So who gets the Broken Balls Award for you, Spike?
Paulie. For me, this is easy. Paulie. Yeah, just from how Tony is trying to portray him, and even how they try to sell us on this nigga might die this episode, and for what? As a viewer, like looking at this like several times over, like there was a legit concern when you're watching this for the first time. You're like, damn, they finna kill Paulie? Oh no! Like, what do you do? So yeah, Paulie is definitely it for me.
All right, man. All right, Rich. Who gets the Broken Balls Award from you?
Low hanging fruit, Uncle Junior.
Good.
Uncle Junior. He went through every single wave of emotion, being in power, being in charge, running a hustle, making all the money on everybody, even though it was fucked up. It's at the end holding that cat, man. That's just a sad scene. Like I bet most people don't even remember that image of Junior when they think about Sopranos. But I mean, that's not how it ends for Junior. It's not the last time we see him. But that's kind of like, as far as solo storyline, that this was a Junior episode, which made perfect sense given the title. But yeah, from where he was to where he is now, yeah, man. He beat somebody up. He got beat up. Like, he went through everything. Junior's
that is crazy.
Yeah, Broken Balls Award.
I gotta go, Tony, man. You would think it'd be a dub because he got off on this, but it's like you there. And again, you can't be comfortable anyway being in the mob, but the comfort level that you do carry being a mobster, knowing that like you got your ducats in a row, so you can only be so comfortable. Even that level of comfort is gone, and so it's just like, bro, you have to live in this paranoia. So you're never present. You can't really be present with your wife, your gumars, your therapy sessions. Like, he can't be present no more because it's like I'm always looking over my shoulder, always wondering, curious. I can't enjoy what's going on because I'm thinking about this could be it. This could be literally the last episode. She was like, "Is this it?" Carmela. So it's like now this is the reality where he has to live in. And bro, I tell you that anxiety level. You would think, crazy thing enough, you would think Tony would have panic attacks now. He doesn't. Now that's interesting.
Very good point.
Anyway, we'll double back to that though. But that's a real interesting thing. He don't have the panic attacks now. But shout out to Melfi. Favorite quote of the episode, man. What's the bar that you got, Spike?
Who's gonna tell him when Junior was talking to the two dudes?
Yeah.
As far as him expressing his grievances with Tony, who's gonna tell him?
That's like a deep dive right there.
Yeah, it felt funny because Junior was like, "I know y'all bullshitting, and y'all still
When
like
you double down on it.
yeah, you giving me envelopes and everything, but like who gonna tell him though? Like y'all saying all this bullshit, but who gonna tell him?"
That's funny.
I like that.
Just not letting people off the hook like that. Like go further in the question.
Facts,
Yeah,
facts.
that's good. What about you, Rich?
Don't count my money, nigga.
Come on. I was like, bro, if somebody don't say that, bro.
I obviously remember when is the lowest form of conversation. That's the quote of the episode. But
Facts.
For the real niggas out there, don't count my money, nigga.
Don't count my money, nigga.
All right, let me see. That is really good. All right, well, let me go back here. Let me see what I got. I had a few options. I figured that possibly could go. So, I'm thinking about going with one of Junior's stories. You know what? Since I want to give Carter Chong some love because we're not going to see him again, I'm going to say, where are the other 4 points? Because his dad is wild for saying that, bro. It's like you got
that is some wild shit.
You got 96. Where are the other 4 points? Like you want me to get 100%? Like,
that's funny.
Let me see the other 4 points. And lastly, Spike Lou, what's your favorite moment of the episode?
My favorite moment of this episode. It's the beginning when Tony get the smirk that we base so much of the episode off of, when he gives a smirk when Paulie is walking up to the residence.
It's really good because you it's crazy you said that you've been doing this a while, because that level of subtlety is overlooked a lot, and you've watched enough film and done enough reviews, so you understand the importance of that. That's why I'm glad you use it as a through line through this whole review that we did. So the Tony Smart in the beginning. All right, Big Rich, what you got?
The Beansy and Tony conversation. I think it was just extremely important for Tony to have a moment. First, it's the most genuine and honest I think Tony's been in a very long time. Like the guard was down. It felt like he was just having a drink with an old friend, and he wasn't thinking about all the other stuff coming around and the paranoia. And also somebody from the outside, not outside per se, but I'm not down. I'm not in Jersey with y'all. I'm not around, but I know both of y'all very well. I know both of you very intimately. I know that Paulie's not this person you think he is. And just some game. Like, let me just tell you something about getting older and what Paulie's going through. Something that Tony needed to hear. Incredible scene. And even Tony pushing back. Knowing all that, saying, man, well, he ain't been tested. Because once again, you have no idea what it's like to be number one. And that's the one thing, even no matter how sleazy and scumbagish that Tony might be, that's the one thing that he can say. And we all got to just kind of like, you know what, you're right.
You're right.
Like, yes, you were acting like an ass, but I also don't know what it's like to be in your shoes.
Very well put.
That's very well put. Yeah, that I love that. It's such a great scene. Covered a lot of ground. For me, honorable mention, because I really was close to, Junior getting it off, like, the house shoe flying off, all that. Like, we getting active at 80 years old. But I'm gonna go Tony on Tony and Paulie on the boat. Mr. Broomstick up his ass. Like, it's so much there outside of like the threat. But like the second time he asked Paulie, like, come on, and Paulie just let him marinate for a second and still didn't say nothing. It was just like, the commitment of Paulie, bro. It's like, this man is good, like, because he sold it so well, bro. And he really could have died, like just looking out in the ocean and all that it brings later in the series. So for me, it's definitely the boat scene and cinematography of the boat bouncing up and down, and yeah, it's really really good.
And it speaks to something too, like just not to throw you off on the ending of it,
No,
Mo.
you good?
It's crazy because we've all been in that position where you know somebody is lying.
Yeah,
I know you lying, nigga,
Mhm.
and I kind of respect the commitment to
yeah,
you not. I
yeah,
kind of respect it. I ain't even gonna hold you, but I
yeah.
know you lying. I talked to the chick. She told me. So yeah,
Bro,
crazy.
dang, you brought me back, bro, because I know those moments. And he's like, dude,
We've all been in those
he's
moments. I
never going to
know
admit it.
I've did another podcast in which you guys know that we've all been in those moments where it's like,
He
I
never going to
know
admit
you
it.
lying, bro, but I fuck with you. I fuck with you, and
Dang, that's
I
Mhm.
crazy.
they ain't too much more that I can say, but I know you lying. And if you gonna stand
Facts.
on that, is if that's where your integrity line is, then cool. Whatever.
Bro, golly, yeah. I'm gonna hop on another week in the books in a few weeks, man. I'll get back with you fellas, man.
Yeah, let
for
us know, man.
Facts.
for the trio again. But like,
You
yeah,
gonna get you
because
gonna get back to that for the record?
yeah, for sure.
Facts.
Yeah, let us
'Cause
know, man. You already know. Open
yeah,
invite.
yeah,
Put it in schedule.
absolutely, absolutely, man. But yeah, man, that's our episode, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully, we again just making these Mondays wonderful for y'all. We truly enjoy doing this, and it's really we're in at the end. The countdown after by the time y'all hearing this, we'll now be down to what 6 episodes left.
Doom,
Woo,
doom, doom.
6 after this,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that is
I'm
crazy.
gonna
But
watch the next episode right now.
Spike, shout out to the dedication. But yeah, so if y'all want to reach out to us, Good Earner Pod _Sopranos on Instagram, DM us, man. We'll read your DM online. I mean, on the episode, y'all can hit us up, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. Yes, people still email, so you can hit us there. You can leave a comment on YouTube as well as Spotify, I'm noticing. So if I haven't got back to anybody that's on Spotify, I still getting familiar with it. It's a new concept right now, but nonetheless, man, we thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for supporting. And remember, don't forget about it.